Y'all used to hate on all of my moves, but now niggas on it. Y'all used to debate me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it. Your homies on it. Y'all used to hate on all of my moves, but now niggas on it. Y'all used to debate me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it. Your homies on it.
What it do, what it do? We are back, man. The realest podcast ever. We are here on another Monday, doing what we do best, man. Recapping all of the current events and the hot topics in the world. I thought Matt was drinking some Cabernet Sauvignon. It's Coke Zero. Like the other day, we saw a boy said it was supposed to be Jamie Foxx said it was Jaime Fox.
Jaime Fox. Jaime Fox. Funny as shit. Oh, man. Before we get into everything, man, go get your tickets. TRPE weekend, we had a bunch of ticket sales this week.
Clapped it up.
The live show is we already know that's going to go to a sellout. The after party, the brunch. Go to officialtrpe.com. Hit the events tab. All the links are right there for the live show, after party, and for the brunch on Sunday, August 26th, August 27th. Be there or be square.
Only thing shaking in the city, man. We got people pulling up from all over the country to come rock with us, come celebrate this momentous occasion. Our network signing, actually a dual network signing now. We two networks, so we got a dual network signing, and then like Matt said, live show, after party, TRP Nation brunch. Put that shit on. We're going to be in the building. We're going to have a great time, man. Shout out to everybody that already bought your tickets. If you didn't, you need to get them right now. officialtrpe.com. Second order of business, Patreon.
Oh, we got to put that
yes,
on.
Yes,
that was a funny joke.
We will have a Patreon preview dropping along with this episode, so you can check this out, go through that, go back, check out the Patreon preview, and then sign up for Patreon. Right now, we are offering free trials, 7-day free trials on the Ultra VIP tier. You can access all of the back catalog content. At this point, we have almost as many Patreon episodes as like regular episodes because of the frequency that we put out Patreon. And we've only been on there for 2 years and a couple of months. Yeah. And we've already cracked 230 OT episodes on Patreon, not to mention all of the exclusive videos and stuff that dropped over there first. So if you're not on Patreon yet, you need to get there and you can try it out for free, free 99. My dad used to always infamously say, if it's for free, it's for me. Right. So you get 7 days for free. Patreon.com/officialtrpe. That's the second order of business. Third order of business, YouTube. What up,
More
YouTube?
orders of business, okay.
What up, YouTube? Anybody watching this on YouTube now, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Shout out to all of y'all, man. That community is growing fast. Go to youtube.com/@TRPE or just search TRPE. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. Roughly 70 to 80% of our viewers that watch us on YouTube weekly are not subscribed. So you need to do that. If you got a Gmail address, you got a YouTube account automatically. Subscribe on that so you can get all of these alerts and help that community grow.
Straight up. Anything else? No more orders of business?
No more orders of business.
Okay.
Nope.
All right. How we feeling?
We 3 and through.
3 and through? How we feeling?
Feeling good, man.
I want to start with something today.
Okay.
It was on my mind. I went down a rabbit hole. You know that's what we do here. I went down a good rabbit hole yesterday, and you get so deep in the rabbit hole, you come out the other side. I went down the lottery rabbit hole yesterday.
Okay.
You want to do this?
Yes.
Why not? Because I play the lottery every day.
You did.
I play the lottery every day.
Damn, lottery boy.
Lottery boy.
You know you're a real lottery nigga when you got the numbers written down already. You go, geez. Did you again?
Just played them before we started this episode.
Real his. They see the lottery come out, the lottery shit come up and be like 70-27 for the big four. Be like, God, that's my aunt's address.
Always
association with lottery come up 16.99. God, that was my dorm number in high school. That little college program I stayed the weekend. My joint was 16.99.
Shippensburg University, 1971. What you mean?
When I worked this out, that's how I was all day. 71.46. I had 71.6. I broke down on the expressway, and I knew I should have played
mile marker. 71.46.
No, bus number. 71. I knew I should. True story. That actually, I remember. There was a blocker. Derek. Rest in peace, Derek. Man, he passed away. He blockers who give you the bus at the joint. I will never forget this shit. I came down. He was like, take 71.90. I hated 7190 because we had these buses that had these seats that said Recaro on them. Anybody listening to this know them Recaro seats, like the stationary seat in the bus, you put the air in it, it kind of locks in place. Them Recaro they was like space seats, so they bounce and shit. You hit a motherfucking pothole, you coming down the track.
Look like you in Compton.
Dog. So I hated that fucking seat. I came down, he was like, yeah, you got 7190. I'm like, nah, man, give me another bus. You know what I'm saying? Give me something else. He's like, nah, just take 7190. You only doing a trip. I'm like, nah, I don't give a fuck if I'm doing half a trip. I hate that fucking seat. I don't want to sit on that seat. Give me another bus. So he was like, man, you come down here making no motherfucking demand. Just take 7190. So me and him start going at it. And I mean, we are like, we damn near rumbling over what bus I'm going to take on the street. So motherfuckers come, they stop us, break us all up, all that shit. Old head Tate was like, you know you need to play that number. I'm like, okay. So he was like, yeah, you need to play that. 7190, that's a good number. You need to play that. I'm like, whatever. So I go and play it. I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm like, yeah, let me get 7190. She was like 50-50-1-1 by how you gonna do it. I'm like, you know the regular.
All of them.
All of them. She was like, do you want them on the same ticket, or do you want dollar box on the same ticket, or do you want to? And I'm like, I didn't even know you're supposed to do 50-cent tickets and all that crazy shit.
Cash, man, you can't cash them if they dollar.
Right. So I'm like, she break it down. So I'm playing $3 straight, $3 box.
Okay.
7190. You know, $3 straight.
Big time.
It's 15 grand.
Yeah.
15 grand on the straight, another 2 grand on the box. So I'm just like, yeah, I do it that first day, nothing. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it again. I'm on the same route that day. I'm like, fuck it. I did that shit every day for 2 weeks, Monday through Friday. And I'm like, yo, I'm a loser. I've reached that.
Fucking degenerate.
I've reached that status in my life. So I'm like, I'm not playing that shit no more. The third week, I did it Monday through Friday while I was out. I was on the 33 every day. It's a little hut right there at the end of the line. I played it every day, Monday through Friday. Nothing. Next week, I played Monday through Friday. Nothing. I'm like, I'm done with this shit. Monday come, I'm on it. I'm like, I'm not playing that shit. Tuesday, I come in the depot. Hector worked with me. Hector came in and was like, my fucking birth year came out last night in the box. I ain't even play it. I'm like, what year was you born? He was like 1970. So I'm like, 1970. And you said it came out box? And he was like, yeah. I'm like, damn, I would have hit it in the box. And I was like, what was it straight? He was like, 7109 or 7190. One of them. And it was 71 something. And I'm just like, ain't no way. The door opened and Tate came in and was like, tell me you played that motherfucker. I was like, I did for 2 weeks, but I gave up. I gave up. That shit came out 7190. Straight.
17 racks.
Straight. 17 racks.
Extra $3 more would have got you.
I stopped playing it. I'm not making that shit up. I guarantee if you go look up the last time 7190 came out, I know for sure it was in that 2012, 13 range, because that's around the time the shit happened.
Man.
Straight up, that shit came the fuck out. But I went down the lottery rabbit hole. Do you play the Powerball Mega Millions?
Every now and then.
Every now and then? Yeah. Are you one of them people where when it gets to a certain amount, you in?
Yeah.
So you know now the Powerball it's at 975 tonight. Well, I mean right now going into Monday. Yeah. And then the Mega Millions is going to 600 because you know. So I saw an article last night. You know what the big thing is with the Mega Millions and the Powerball? The thing you see people differ about all the time is what?
Cash out.
Cash or the annuity.
Or the annuity, yeah. So
now the lottery commission, because these jackpots are getting so big and they're getting hit at these high levels. You remember when like a gigantic Powerball was 180 million? Mm-hmm. Like if you hit the 180 million, John, it's like, what the fuck? Like now you got this shit routinely going to 700, 800, 900, a million.
Didn't one hit $1 billion before?
A couple, $1.6 billion, $1.4 billion, $1.8 billion, all this crazy shit. So now what they're doing is once it gets to a certain amount, you don't even have cash out as an option no more.
Oh, it's automatic
annuity.
You
automatic annuity. Because they're like, listen.
But we pay, here's what I don't understand about that. The people playing is what pays into the fund to create the large amount of money. How y'all still don't have the bread?
You listen.
How y'all still don't have the money and it's our money? We funded this shit.
Remember Dave Chappelle? Bow, right there. You gotta knock the glass over.
Spent that.
Yeah.
Spent that already.
So now
half of that with the Parks and Recs.
So now with Mega Millions Powerball, if it crosses 600 million, it's just annuity straight. So I went into Kevin O'Leary and Mark Cuban. For all of you that don't know, Mark Cuban owns, the Mavericks. Kevin O'Leary is his co-host on Shark Tank. Mm-hmm. they have a breakdown of what you're supposed to do after winning the lottery. And they're like on opposite sides of like the cash out annuity joint.
Yeah.
So Mark Cuban was basically saying,
Always take the cash.
Mark Cuban was saying the annuity.
Oh, the annuity. Okay.
I personally was always like, if I win some shit like that, I would do the annuity just because getting a check every year sounds a lot better than right now. Because if I go buy a Tiger and a Bugatti, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of, you know, once you get on a roll, you on a roll.
Yeah.
You know, ain't no stopping us now. I'm like, that's the anthem.
Yeah.
But with the annuity, you know, you get a check every year. So here was their breakdown. I want to see where you are with this.
Okay.
Mark Cuban was saying the way the average mind works is, I won $500 million. Cash is $280. They take the taxes. I walk off with $190. I got more money than I ever had. I'm gonna be good. I could just invest that and I'm straight. He was like, the average human doesn't know how to invest. The average human doesn't know how to invest with $500, let alone $200 million. So when you get to that place, you're gonna have so many financial sharks that are coming for you. Financial advisors, tax accountants, lawyers, all of that shit. He was like, if I win a lottery that big, what I would do is, first off, take a second. He was like, you got up to a year to cash that shit out. So he was like, I would literally go on like, almost like dates with tax accountants, lawyers, and financial advisors where I'm just interviewing them to see who the fuck I can trust and who really has like a decent plan that they can put in place for me.
Yeah.
Because he was like, you're going to meet people who are just, they're sharks. Motherfuckers gonna be trying to get you to sign over power of attorney so that they can manage all your shit and invest and do all these wild ass situations. Yeah, and I'm investing in this tomato farm and all this crazy shit. And the whole time you're essentially losing, taking high risk every time they decide to do something. And you don't really even have an understanding of what's going on. Yeah. So he was like, the annuity to me makes the most sense because even if you do make a mistake with your first check, make a mistake in your second check, you got to check every year for the next 30. Mm-hmm. And most of the states now, the money doesn't stop if something happens to you. It'll go to your next of kin.
Okay, got it.
So Kevin O'Leary on the flip side was like, yeah, fuck all that. What I think is you take the lump sum of money and you invest a large chunk of it into low risk dividend paying stocks. Where he was like, you don't have to be a genius to do that. And you really don't need anyone to do the shit for you. It's just common fucking sense. Essentially, that's what the tip was getting.
You look at the S&P 5, you look at the S&P 500, you pick whatever you like out of the top 15 funds on there. Apple, Google, Amazon, Tesla.
So here was Kevin O'Leary's big point. He was like, my biggest problem with taking the annuity is the lottery commission will invest the money for you that you're supposed to get every year. But they invest it on such a macro like denomination to where they don't want to like risk losing bread because they still owe it to you.
Right.
They're not going to take even like the slightest chance of trying to turn, let's say your annuity payment is $20 million, trying to turn it into $27 million next year or $28 million.
Turn it to 21.5.
Not even that. He was like 20 and 200,000, shit like that.
Damn.
So he was saying the biggest thing with taking the cash payout is if you take the annuity, think about it. You're talking about 30 years of payouts. We're looking at inflation where just look at 1970 to 2000 and how much the dollar dropped. That was in 30 years. Now look at 2000 to 2020. The dollar dropped more from 2000 to 2020 than it dropped from 1970 to 2000. Right. So let's look at 2020 going to 2035. And it's crazy because you look at the last couple of years where we've gone with inflation. So he was like, your money, say you got a situation where you're supposed to get $8 million every year. Cool, getting $8 million right now for this year is great. Get $8 million next year is great. But in 27 years, when you get that $8 million, the $8 million is only worth $4.9 million. And I'm just like, damn, this is a good ad. Like, why these idiots be arguing over vacuum cleaners on that stupid ass show? This is a good breakdown.
Yeah.
So if you, what would you, well, now you can't even, you really don't even have an option at a certain point. Yeah. But you in a situation, $450 million is the annuity, cash payout is $272. What you got?
In a perfect world, you always take the money. You always take the lump sum of money because there's a thought process that turning $500, turning $200 into $1,000 is a possibility. Turning $200 million into $500 million is an eventuality. So all you got to do is just not do dumb shit. And
But that's hard. That's where everybody kind of like Mark Cuban was saying that. He was like, yo, the average American, he's like, you got to remember, we're not talking about somebody who's financially literate, someone who has a bunch of shit going on. I've seen people who are literally working the overnight shift at Waffle House win the lottery, and it's like, you was just fighting at the grill. Right. You was just rumbling on your shift the night before. You don't have an understanding of how to turn $2 into $5, let alone 200 million into 500 million.
I just think your runway is so much greater when you have 200 million that you have so much money you can cover up for your own mistakes. You can make $50 million worth of mistakes and still got $150 million to fix your fucking mistakes. So the whole thing is that equity, a lot of times equity is what prevents people from getting a bird's eye view of what real investing looks like. Mm-hmm. Because when you only have $500 to invest, and that's like, that shit is make or break, like it decides if you eat or not, you're going to be way more risk averse, or you're going to hammer the risk in order to try to turn that 500 into $1,000 or $1,500 or whatever. But it's like when you got 200, you could just play just regular shit. You go to YouTube University on fucking stock investment or real estate investment. You can just invest in the REITs, real estate investment trust, and your money is fucking safe.
I think it was. I think it was decent because Mark Cuban to me was speaking from a place of be safe. Just take the safest route you can possibly take in something like that, so you don't have to end up on lottery curse my life. Right. And Kevin O'Leary was like, "There's no need to play it safe like you're doing. There's no need to play it safe when you got that big of a runway. Yeah. You can't be that fucked off." And Mark Cuban is like, "No, they that fucked off. Bro. They that fucked off." So they basically, Mark Cuban was saying how if you win the lottery for that big, you shouldn't even be worried about cashing the ticket until you have your lawyer in place. Like you have to have your lawyer. You should have your lawyer in place because it's all kinds of shit that people just don't know. Do you know how much you allowed to give as a gift before you have to start paying taxes on the shit?
I know it's less than $1 million.
No, 5.3 million.
5.3.
After 5.3 million, everything you give away as a gift is taxed at 40%. He was like, that's just shit people just don't even realize to her, because he was like, you have such a bombarding. He's like, everybody in your life is gonna hit you up and ask you for something. Everyone who lived near you. And Kevin O'Leary was like, well, that's how you stay anonymous and shit like that. So I started going down that rabbit hole about staying, because you know, everybody, John, I'm just stay anonymous. So this is the way it works. Ready?
Yeah, but you can't stay anonymous. They got a lamb chop in front of your grandma's house.
So Pete, there are states that let you stay anonymous where they don't release it as public record and you don't have to do a press conference. Okay. It's Delaware, Georgia, Illinois, Kansas, Maryland, Minnesota, Mississippi, Montana, New Jersey, North Dakota, Ohio, South Carolina, Texas, West Virginia, and Wyoming. Those states let you take the option of staying completely anonymous. Now, here's the caveat with two of those. Well, not with those, but two more. Florida and West Virginia. You have the option to stay anonymous for 90 days.
So eventually
it becomes public record.
Get you enough time to get out of Dodge.
Enough time to get out of Dodge. You know, grab all your shit. Get the fuck out
of Columbia, get the villa.
Yeah. So it just was a good breakdown. It really made me start like looking at the different situations. In PA, there is no state tax on lottery. You have to pay your federal tax.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So, you know.
Basically 20%.
25% to the feds. But certain states have state tax. Certain places have local tax, like your city or your county or whatever. So, you know, any money that's like owed federally, whether it be child support, all that bullshit comes out, all that. So it just is an interesting thing to like look at and really think about. Because most people are, you 1 in 373 million shot.
And I get what Cuban is saying, because the average person that's going to win lottery is not somebody that is, you know, a fucking econ professor at Rutgers University or something like that. It's going to be typically one of the lower third, economically speaking, of people is going to win the lottery, because those are the people that believe in that shit. Fucking Grant Cardone is not playing the Mega Millions.
No,
like,
you see what I'm saying?
He don't even know. Like, wait, what are y'all doing? Like, they running the office.
What are y'all doing?
What the fuck are y'all doing? Like, no, I'm not doing that.
But when you look at like lottery curse my life and all these different situations, and you see how people got fucked off and fucked around, people ended up getting. Remember the one old head that kept getting robbed at a strip club with a briefcase full of money? It's like motherfuckers lose their minds essentially. Mark Cuban was like, yo, he came to the strip club 5 different times with 5 different briefcases full of money. And you would think after the third robbery,
This is a bad idea.
Kevin O'Leary was like, I didn't know anything about this. What happened? Mark Cuban, like, yeah, he was coming to the strip club with a briefcase with $300,000, and he got robbed 5 times.
Like, why not just hire security?
Kevin O'Leary was like, yeah, 300,000 that's a heist. That's not even a robbery.
Yeah, that's grand larceny. You take 300,000 from somebody.
You look at the boy who got killed down in Florida. His the chick that was helping.
Chick,
Yeah. Buried him in the back of the house under the cement. You know what I'm saying? Like,
how he got there?
They brought up a guy in North Carolina. He hit a scratch off for $400,000. 3 days later, niggas kicked in his door, killed him and shit.
Oh, the boy down South Philly that just hit the scratch off, they killed him.
Oh yeah.
He hit the scratch off for $1 million in the store. Met up with some people outside that got smoked.
What the fuck?
Yeah, this was like 2 months ago.
Yeah, there was a situation, a woman in the Carolinas, I don't know if it was North Carolina, South Carolina, hit lottery twice, and then she kept having to pay like multi-million dollars for legal defenses for her dumbass husband that kept getting locked up over and over and over.
Oh yeah, she was on Iyanla Van Zandt. Iyanla had her on for a show and shit. She bought a mansion that used to be a plantation. Like on some we up now, we this ours. But the shit, Iyanla pulled up and it was like they had like, you see how Dan got the bike? They had dirt bikes upside down on the lawn and all this crazy ass shit. Like they was just fucking the house up. And she kept bailing the boyfriend was getting locked up for drag racing and everything.
Yeah, dumbass shit.
And it's just like, yeah, because you're not understanding of one of them Jones, the judge set the bail at $20 million and she paid it. And it's just like 35? Like,
we know this nigga's gonna jump bail. That's just gonna end up being our money. Like
so the average person just isn't in a situation to really understand what you're doing, and that much money can, like Mark Cuban's like, that much money can almost cause what they call it, delusion.
Yeah.
To where you just like you out of your mind.
Yeah, delusions of grandeur.
Right.
Like,
You just out of your mind and don't really understand what's going on. So it's like, yo, the safest bet, take the annuity, because you, especially if you're in that situation where you've never had nothing or never did nothing, there's no way they can hand you a check for whatever the fuck it be, whether it be 1 million or 100 million, and you just keep it regular. Yeah, because he was like, I'm not to cut you off, but he was like, honestly, you should live your normal life after winning the lottery for at least 6 months. You should keep it copacetic for 6 months.
Absolutely
at least.
not. I'm going by a brick of cocaine.
That's
sniffing it off. I'm sniffing it off some titties.
Right. You go to Chad Crippy, answer the door with a Lucha Libre mask. Going, what the fuck is going on?
It was cracking.
Wrestling these Spanish hoes today. Like, so it's just a wild thing to think about. But when I saw that they made it to where, we're not even giving you the option no more, and not because we afraid of you hurting yourself, but more so, we just ain't trying to be on the hook. Yeah. But again, the inflation shit. We'd rather keep that money, try to invest, and just hit you off with your check every month. Or every year.
Every year, yeah. I'm willing to split the baby on it and say, some people, you should be able to qualify for an annuity. I mean, for the lump sum. You should be able, if you can prove a certain level of financial
like an aptitude test?
Yeah, there's a test called the SHL. I took the test when I was going from Enterprise Rent a Car to Enterprise Fleet.
You imagine cheating on that test? You got to show you, I'm trying to get this money, man.
Yes, it's like a 60-minute test or whatever like that, and it's like you got to do like inverted fractions and econ shit like that, whatever. I got the highest score in the history of the fucking company when I took the test, and it's like, yo, you have to break a certain like number. You got to break a 70 or higher, and then we'll give you the motherfucking we'll give you the lump sum of money. Or you got to write us a 3-page paper. I don't even care if it's ChatGPT. Write us a 3-page paper, financial plan, a synopsis, an overview of what you are going to do with this money.
Ball.
Ball like a dog.
Ball like a dog. He was like, the first thing you should do is hire a lawyer. I'm like, I can see me now talking to Kev like Avon was talking to Slim Charles. Look, you about to earn your fucking keep around here, big man. All right, you about to earn your fucking keep around here, nigga. Like, but yeah, it was just a wild joint to like look at and read and go down. I'm just like, like.
And I get the whole thing with pushing the annuity on people, because it's like, you gotta save people from themselves.
Save them from themselves. That's essentially what he was saying. Kevin O'Leary, like, fuck that.
Yeah, there's a reason why gluttony is a sin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just one of them joints where it's like, yo, the average person, the average American is like a C- C student, not that sharp, barely knows how to get on YouTube. Not that bright of fucking people. And with that in mind, it's like, yeah, you got to protect these people from their goddamn self because they're going to give that money back.
All day.
Yeah, what's the percentage of people that go broke that hit the lottery?
I think it's upwards of like 61%.
Yeah.
Oh, that's insane.
No, that shit is real, dog. They had the one boy from PA. He won the lottery for, I want to say it was like $8 or $9 million. He took the annuity, right?
Yeah.
So the annuity paid him, I think it was like $500,000 every year for like 20 years or some shit, whatever the fuck that breakdown is. The first year, his daughter was like, the first year he had spent like $1.5 million and was in debt.
Nigga, how?
And he was doing shit like
he was leveraging his annuity. He was probably going to people saying, "Yo, I got this annuity, his payment. I'm good for the bread."
He bought a crib, right? And he put gold faucets on all the sinks.
Oh, he was on some Percy Miller shit.
Just nut shit. His daughter was like, he bought an airplane and didn't have a hangar to keep the Cessna in.
I'm gonna park it at the crib.
He got that shit attached to the Tahoe, just riding around.
He went full nigga Roger.
Nigga got a Cessna on the hips.
Yeah.
Riding around in a Suburban.
And to that point, the instinct of most people, when they have more money than they ever had, is to buy everything they never had.
Wanted.
Yeah, everything they ever wanted. And it's just like, yo, it's like, remember when Martin thought he won the lottery? He had the motherfucking CD.
Yo, Martin had a jet ski in an apartment
in Detroit.
In Detroit.
Fucking Stairmaster, just buying shit.
That nigga came into the press conference on the fucking joint. Andre the Giant came to the ring in WrestleMania. Little floating. Why the fucking jackass talk?
And that's the average fucking person.
That nigga definitely did have a jet ski in the living room. Fucking cold imbecile, man. But yeah, when you watch that lottery ruin my life and lottery, you be like, God damn, dog. Like people, the one boy, he was a trash man, won like 24 million. They said this nigga was having rave parties every night. Hookers, cocaine, ecstasy, all that shit. Blew through the whole dub. They look back now, they what is he doing now? He back doing the trash man shit. He like, man, I had fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just back out here working and shit.
And that's the thing about...
Anything on that SEPTA people that hit it? Was it SEPTA?
Yeah, the crazy part is I was downtown the day it got hit. I was down there for a urine test. And everybody kept asking me that shit. Like, were you part of the crew? I'm like, what the fuck y'all talking about? Then I seen on news, SEPTA crew hit the joint. They bought the ticket like right at 8th Market, the stand and shit.
Damn.
Yeah. And that joint, I think it wound up, they all got like 4 and some change. Because it was pretty big when it hit, but it was
4 million and some change?
Yeah. It was a bunch of them.
Like 10 of them.
Yeah, it was a bunch. I think it was like 14. It was a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Damn, that's shit. That's good money. Goddamn.
I remember because everybody in my depot was like, there's a couple of them that still was working and shit. And he was like, oh, they fools. And I'm like, no, that's the shit Mark Cuban was talking about.
Yeah.
Like, you should continue on what you know. Because he was like, here's the thing. And I know it sounds wild. You honestly shouldn't even make a big purchase until you've had time to like let it all sink in.
Yeah.
Because he was like, you know, you win $200 million. Come on, I'm going to buy a Tuscan villa in the south of France. Do you realize you don't even like France?
Right.
Yeah, like, because he was like, I'm going to Hawaii, buy a motherfucking villa out here. You got the ability to do just about anything. But it's like, give yourself a chance to really, really set things in stone. Right. Really, really set up who you going to help out, what you going to do. Set up a trust if that's what you deem to do. He was like, that's the way a lot of people circumvent the whole situation with, you know, coming public. But it's like the trust and who owns it will be public record. Yeah. But there's ways around that. He's like, you sit and talk with actual people. Interview lawyers, interview accountants, interview financial advisors, interview tax people. Then you set up your team. Then you come claim your prize. You take a moment to really, really let it sink in. Think about if a motherfucker would have, like, not trying to be funny. Let's be real here. And y'all saw it in a manner in which a lot of people didn't see it. Look at the pandemic. And how niggas acted when they got 50, 100, 150, 250 grand, let alone 250 million. There were lines at Saks. For months. There were lines at the Louis Vuitton store.
2 years.
You see, with nowhere to go. So the average motherfucker, think about what happened with watches. You talked about it with, I don't even know if you talked about it on the show, but we were talking about it like in person. Yeah. When the Sprite GMT dropped, that's an $11,000 watch. It shot all the way up to 40. And you like, yo, buying a $10,000 watch at 40 grand, once the market resets, you're never gonna re-realize that money.
Can't.
So motherfuckers was doing shit like that. Imagine these niggas with 100 million during the pandemic when them prices shot the fuck up. How much a Prezi? $6 million. Fuck it.
Give me 10 of
Give
them.
me 8 of them bitches. Gotta ice the team. Like,
We ain't no broke ass niggas over here.
so the panoramic, you've seen it to where it's like understanding Mark Cuban's place of like, yo, you almost gotta save a motherfucker from himself.
Yeah, for sure.
And Kevin O'Leary is like, man, no, people don't need no saving. You just need to get your shit together. And Mark Cuban like, no, man,
they not
it
gonna
don't
get it
work
together.
like that. Deshaun Stevenson was on my team. I'm telling you. This fool had an ATM in his fucking house.
He was only making like $3-4 million a year.
Nigga had an ATM in the crib. Why?
Yeah, like you in DFW, you play for the Dallas Mavericks. Like your face is a coupon to a certain extent. You an NBA champion. Like you probably don't even have to pay for most things.
And
Like
you gotta realize back then, $1 million house probably was $100 grand in Dallas.
for sure.
Yeah.
$1 million house only $300 grand in Dallas.
Four
right
car garage, motherfucking pool, in-ground pool, all that shit.
Straight up.
Living in Metro Dallas is cheaper than Delaware.
Yeah. Straight up.
You get a compound for $300,000 in Dallas right now, today.
So it's like just knowing what I know and looking at it, the fact that motherfuckers could
Yeah,
run
I
through
think
that
I
shit.
changed my position. You got to save people from themselves.
Everybody gotta get the new. Like, let's take a pass the aptitude test.
Yeah, unless you can pass the aptitude test or come with a good chat GPT business plan.
I can understand Kevin Leary's stance solely for the
Inflation.
Because he's not talking about, no, give me my bread so I can invest. He's just simply on the strength like,
To
yo,
beat the inflation.
if I take 150 million cash right now and instead of the 150 million cash, y'all supposed to give me 250 annuity over time. He was like the 150 cash taken and just putting into dividend paying stocks that's low risk. That 150 is 400 in 30 years.
Yeah.
As opposed to the 250 that's going to be
That's
worth
real.
175.
Yeah.
So I understand that aspect, but Mark Cuban is like, you got to understand the average person who's playing the lottery is not even thinking about that shit. They're thinking about, I can buy the Bugatti, I can buy the Rolls Royce, I can buy the fucking condo, I can buy the mansion, I can buy the boat.
I could buy Bernice Burgos. Like, niggas is just fine, just adding shit to the list.
I definitely need to know Belize's number.
Oh,
What's the number?
I watched the lottery, Curse My Life, Joe, on the Bull. He won the lottery for like $48 million, and they were showing. He was like, "Yeah, let me show you my swords." This motherfucker had a room full of swords. He's like, "Yeah, I always loved swords when I was a kid, so now he just got mad swords in the crib."
Just the
Leonardo,
Shaolin,
Leonardo,
This is Shaw
get
brother.
the hell out of here.
RZA signed this joint. Like,
You know the boy that bought the Wu-Tang album from them, Mark
Shkreli
He signed this joint.
Yo, straight up. Jim signed this one. Like, he's just walking around with mad swords in the crib.
You know YouTube China Mac. He signed this one. Like,
Straight up. But it was like I said, I was just bored and started reading about it, looking at it. And it's crazy because, you know, the one guy I was watching, he was like, there's something to be said about the lottery getting as big as it gets as fast as it gets now. Just think about it. Even when the lottery gets to 700 million, right? And they put it out there, oh, lottery is 700 million. This will be Monday afternoon. By Wednesday morning, the shit is at 875.
Yeah.
Because so many people are rushing to buy this many tickets. And I'm like, yo, we've really seen $1 billion jackpots a lot.
Yeah.
Like, we've never been in, like, think about it. Right now, the Powerball is at $1 billion and the Mega Millions is like at 6 something.
yeah, that's crazy.
So it's like, they don't get hit. We going, like, you might have $2 billion Jones going at once. That's crazy as shit.
Yeah.
So.
On a different note with the lottery, I saw something the other day. I think it was on WorldStar. Guy bought a Mega Millions ticket. Older gentleman bought a Mega Millions ticket.
And the bitch cashed it?
In the cashier. The two cashiers that worked
to take
in
it
the
out
store
the machine.
forgot to take it out the machine. Realized that the ticket hit. Went to the lottery office to go try to cash the shit in. She's all fucking methed out.
She
of her
on
mind.
heroin, yeah.
She on a heroin meth binge. Her and the nigga that she fucking came to cash the ticket with start arguing. They get into a fight in the lobby
in the lottery
office.
because he like, you give me half.
Half, nigga, what? Fuck you. This shit was for this is for $3 million.
You know how much fentanyl I'm giving this?
The lottery commission and the fucking police department had to go back and review the tape from fucking when the ticket was issued and all of that, match it up to the time and everything, who bought the ticket. Then it took them another 3 months to hunt down who the guy was.
Right.
to try to find him.
Let me tell you how tricky that shit gets. So you know every state has different rules to that type of shit. The state they were in was like, yo, if we can go back and show, like if you come forward and say that a crime was committed, right? Ticket stolen, ticket lost, to whatever,
Yeah.
and somebody comes to claim it who didn't buy the ticket, they'll go and investigate it, and they can see what store was purchased at, go to cameras, all that bullshit. And if they go back and see that, then they'll come and give you the prize because you're the legal owner to the shit. California isn't one of those states. So last year, jackpot got hit, one of the big ones. It was like $912 million. Dude bought the ticket. Dude broke into his car and stole shit out of his car. Stole the ticket. He came and put the ticket in like, yeah, I won the motherfucking Powerball, whatever, all this bullshit. Dude come forward like, no, my car was broken into. California is like, if a crime was committed, we not getting in the way of that. He came through with a ticket. It was signed by him. Wow. He won the shit. So they go into court now to handle all of that.
Yeah, you
shit.
Motherfucking right.
But it's like California. Hey, listen,
Hey man, laissez-faire.
Hey,
hands off.
main man pulled up with it. He got that shit.
Sheesh.
Yeah, crazy, right? Am I weird? I told this shit to Jules, and he was looking at me like I was crazy. Am I weird for and I play it because it's like the American thing to do. You in the store, you buy a pack of Dutchess condoms and some fucking CBD oil with $20. You got fucking, $4 left. Give me 2 Powerball tickets. Right. I think it's like the thing to do, but I don't think we actually think you're gonna hit the shit. Like no. Nobody walks around with the belief of like, yeah, I'm gonna hit the fucking.
It's just a hope strategy.
Yeah, it's something to do. And
Hail Mary.
Right. Am I weird for saying like I had times like I don't even want to hit that shit? Is that weird?
No, it's not weird because you're thinking of like
just how ridiculous life would be after that.
It's a tough pill to swallow.
Think
about how
Dan getting out of the car. Why you got a crown on? No, because we kings over there.
Think about how ridiculous certain people get when they go viral on social media. It's not even no money attached to that. Motherfuckers lose their mind from going viral on social media. Like that's bad enough. You know what I'm saying?
Jacob made this hookah.
Yeah.
1,700 carats.
Hookah got a roulette wheel spinning as the ashtray.
1,700 carats.
Yo, straight up. And I was saying I don't even know if I want that pressure in life. Like I'd be fine with hitting a fucking scratch off for $1 million because I could keep a lot of my normal life intact. But like 800 million, like nothing's normal after that.
Yeah, I mean,
you have a new normal.
Yeah, for sure.
Like we're not about to record, like yeah.
Yeah. Give me a little $25 million and send me on my funky ass way. I don't ask for much. Like what's left after the cash out? 600.
Yo.
Oh yeah.
No press conference.
It's just last updated. It's just over. Like
you gonna go dormant like shit.
Dog. And it's just that I think the thought of a new unpredicted normal bothers the fuck out of me. That's more so what I'm saying.
I think you would adjust though.
I mean, clearly I've adjusted before, but I'm just saying like
when you park in a 71 Ferrari in the living room, you'll adjust.
It's that. So it's like that shit can come on.
It's a snap.
Yeah, like like you just said, you end up with Bernice Burgos and Ari and a batch of coke. Where my Lucha Libre man? I call Chad, see if you got extra Lucha Libre man.
Iced out double nostril, snort straw.
Yo, straight up, man. It's like you got a magnet. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just always like I don't know about when, and then you look at that lottery cursed me and the lottery changed all that, and I don't think it's a curse, but I know man. Like, yo, what you do? I bought a horse. I was at the stable. They told me get into this whole
Black Mustang.
Yeah,
man. They told me to breed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
33,000. What's a baby horse?
A pony.
Yeah, the 33,000 a pony on a comeback.
A colt.
Bought this colt cash.
Remember remember when Dave Chappelle had the reparations show?
Yeah.
And she was like, is that your son? He said, nah, I just bought this baby cash. Oh, I just bought this baby cash.
Fucking Ashy Larry had a truck full of cigarettes.
Yo, dog.
Are you selling those, sir? No, these is for me.
Oh, enough to last me and my family for the rest of
Like
my life. That shit real, man. Like, that's a scary, like, that to me, it just seems scary to be in that predicament. Like, to have that much, just that fast, and then all the eyes and attention, and just, you know, you trying to not curse people out, but it's, you know, it's part of the aesthetic now.
I ain't cursing nobody out. New number, who this? Deleting all my socials.
The one boy was showing how much mail he was getting.
Yeah, it's like 8 people. I'm gonna send y'all niggas a carrier pigeon message. She gonna come. I'm gonna send you a raven like Game of Thrones. If you're receiving this raven,
Pigeon got a little M80 strapped to him. This pigeon will blow up as soon as you read this.
if you're receiving this raven, that means I've won the Powerball.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna be garbed up collecting his ass. Ask Allah for giving this later.
Dog.
I'll make majors a god. Like, I ain't
Yeah, but you figure 600, 30 years, looking at like 25 a year. You know what I'm saying? Annuity.
Yeah,
It's good NBA money for the
great
rest of your
NBA
life.
money, and it's fucking. Was that 6 times longer than the average NBA career?
Yeah.
Average NBA career about 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, straight up.
You get yours for 30. That
Straight
ain't
up.
bad. You know
But yeah, that was a good rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah,
Sparked
for
some
sure.
Good combo and shit. What else you got over there?
I want to talk. Let's got some music industry stuff real quick. The music industry it looks like it's contracting. Hip hop especially right now. So far this year, we're already more than halfway through the year. We've had one hip hop album debut at #1, which was Uzi selling 165 with the pink tape on his album. People thought Young Thug was going to do it. His sales projections was grossly miscalculated. He went from potentially beating Morgan Wallen for #1 with 110,000 sold, got dropped all the way down to 88K. Gunna did 83K. Everybody else did a little bit of nothing. You know what I'm saying? All the NBA young boys and whoever, and we still haven't had. And Dirk did decent numbers. He did 124. He debuted at #2, I believe, whatever like that. So in addition to the sales law, Lil Baby just canceled a bunch of concerts associated with his solo tour through like all of the B and C markets. So like Pittsburgh is canceled. Tampa is canceled. Indianapolis, Indiana, like all of the B and C markets where it's like, who the fuck wants to come here anyway? All of those joints got canceled, whatever, and people are speculating that it's basically due to low ticket sales. But I'm looking at it from a different standpoint, and I'm thinking it's just there's too much supply in the market right now. You got
Supply of what?
Live concerts.
Oh, I was gonna say too much supply of everything, but
Yeah, but as far as live shows go, you got Lil Baby with a headline and arena tour. You got Moneybagg Yo with a headline and arena tour. You got Lil Durk going on tour with Kodak Black, Didi Osama, and NLE Choppa on an arena tour. Beyonce is out there right now. She's not hip hop, but she's still in the marketplace and taking money out of people's houses for people that, you know what I'm saying, if you got a girl or a daughter or whatever that want to go see that show. Then you got 92 Rolling Louds this summer. They just had Portugal last week. I'm sure there's at least 87 more before the summer is over. You just had Roots Picnic. You got Made in America coming up, Labor Day weekend, and then pretty much everything in between. And I think it's just a situation where a lot of these artists, before when we saw big hip-hop tours, we would see artists go on tour. Oh, yeah, and then Drake and 21 Savage is on tour right now. And J. Cole just did 2 dates with Drake in Montreal because 21 Savage was unavailable. So J. Cole filled in and did fucking a co-headlining set with Drake in Montreal for 2 nights. So you have all of this cannibalization between these artists where it's like the average Lil Baby fan, from me on the outside looking in, the average Lil Baby fan is a Moneybagg Yo fan. The average Moneybagg Yo fan is a Lil Durk fan. The average fucking Kodak Black fan is a Lil Baby fan. It's like
you gotta pick your poison.
You gotta pick your poison. So it's like, yo, if I'm gonna pay a deuce $200 for a concert ticket and I'm only getting Lil Baby and 4PF, or I'm paying $200 for a concert ticket and then I get Lil Durk, NLE Choppa, Kodak Black, and Didi Osama, I'm gonna go to that show, or I might pay that same $200 for a 2-day pass for Made in America, and it might be 30 acts, and I like 10 of them. So it's like at this point, like people are, and these artists in the music industry itself doesn't want to acknowledge that people do run out of money. Like people run out of fucking resources.
That was more so when you was like, there's too much supply. I was more so saying as far as like everything.
Yeah, we're
like how
overexposed to everything.
We just talked about inflation fucking up lottery winnings.
Yeah.
So you don't think inflation is fucking up like regular earning in regular households?
Yeah.
So because of that now, you remember when like the first initial ticket boom hit like last year where it was like, oh, concerts is really back,
Yeah.
where it was like
The Weeknd was the first one to announce.
everybody started going on tour and the prices were outrageous for everything.
Getting it back in blood.
Lil Wayne at the Fillmore was $700 standing.
Yeah.
Like
$4,000 for a seat.
it just got ridiculous. And let's just be frank. Every single thing right now is expensive.
Yep.
It don't matter if you're talking about food, duct tape, motherfucking whatever the fuck you need to buy.
Gas,
paper towel,
Yeah.
everything. It just feels like, yo, what's going on?
What it feels like to me is that every company collectively looked around and
was
said,
like,
oh,
we can
so-and-so
charge more?
raising prices, we raising prices.
Bruh.
Hey, but our cost of inventory didn't go up. Our cost of goods sold didn't go up. So the fuck what?
You a fitted hat nigga like I'm a fitted hat nigga. Do you remember going to Players on Woodland Avenue?
Yep.
You remember Foot Stop at the Plaza? Do you remember Sneaker City at 69th Street? You could go get a fitted hat for $12.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yep.
Any team, G hat, whatever, $12. These fitteds and I for some reason the ones with the patches,
Side patches, yeah.
they-
It's funny, we both got Diamondbacks hats on.
that
today.
is funny as shit. But it's like these hats to me fit differently than the ones that aren't the World Series Jones. These hats now are $50.
Yeah, and that's if you catch them on the release.
Dog. And Lee was saying that shit the other. She was like, cause I got a lot of hats, and she's just looking at the hats like, yo, this right here is $1,000 worth of hats. I'm like, no, it isn't. She was like, they $50 a piece.
It's 20
It's
of them.
20 of them. What the fuck you talking about? I'm like, 20 times 50 down. Okay, yeah.
You know some shit.
You know some shit, okay. And it's like, yo, a fitted hat is $50 fucking yo.
I was working at Total Sport. I remember when we went from 25 to 28, niggas lost their
it.
shit.
I can remember when the 5950s went to 32, and it was like, hold up.
You hold the phone.
These joints $32 now, and now they've crept to the point where literally I got a fitted recently. I forgot which one I bought. I think I bought a Yankees joint because I just wanted a straight Yankee fitted. I bought the World Series 98 joint.
Yeah.
And I put on a joint, boy, snapped a little white buckle joint off, tapped it, was doing. He was like, you can go ahead and pay. I tapped my fucking credit card. I'm tapping it. I'm looking at the receipt as it's saying like approved. I'm like, $49.50. I'm like, damn, that joint 50 bones. And it's just like, dog, we're at a place that we've just never been. Yeah. So because of just if a fitted had $50, right? You remember, you ever go to the food court in the mall? You remember when the teriyaki chicken joint, the 2 chickens and some rice was like $6.50?
I remember when it was $4.99.
Dog.
No, my father was just at the market yesterday. My father like, yeah, give me some M&Ms. $7.
Dog.
For M&M's?
M&Ms.
Dog. I was on the phone with Dan.
$6.99.
One day he was at the store and he was like, "Yeah, no, I'm here with my mom. I'm about to get some mayonnaise. She gonna make some tuna or something." You said, and you was like, I hear you like, God damn. I was like, what? He's like, dog, tuna $9. I mean, the mayonnaise $9. He's like, man, I'm about to steal this.
Definitely didn't get scared.
That's off the principle.
Definitely didn't get scared.
It's stealing off the principle.
Dog,
like, this is stupid.
It's unreal. So when you got that in just everyday life, when you talk about windshield wipers, tires, whatever the fuck. Like, you remember, everybody know, and I never even got it. It's funny as shit, because I was telling Marvin him yesterday, I went to the halal truck for the first time in my life. Kira took me. We was down at the CD, and we went to the halal truck, and I never been in my life.
Yeah.
I said that, and she was just like, you never been to, I'm like, no, I never been, or whatever. And because I'm like, I'm not a food truck person, and where I work, we don't just go to food trucks for lunch. I'm like, I never went to one. So we went, and she was like, yeah, I get the salmon all the time. The salmon and rice is $13. And I'm like, I thought this should be like $5. And it's just like, no, that was
that shit was over. I remember when the platters crept from 5 to 6, then 8. and now it's 10. You want chicken? 10. You want combination platter, chicken and fish? $12.
The salmon joint was 13. It was funny because, you know, I'm a novice to this shit. So he got done the joint, put it on the rice, whatever. He was like, you want
white sauce,
white sauce. And I was like, I ain't really, she's like, you got to get the white sauce. I'm like, everybody always talk about the white sauce, but I'm like, I ain't really like a crazy sauce person. I'm like, you can put a little white sauce on just so I could taste it or whatever, just a little bit on the side. Yeah. And he was like, okay. He's like, you want the hot sauce? I'm like, nah. She was like, nah, the combination of the white and hot sauce you got to get. I'm like, all right, put a little of the hot sauce next to it, whatever. We walked back into the cafeteria, sat down, start eating. First bite, I'm like, I'll be back. She's like, what's wrong with your mom? I'm going to get some more
white sauce hot
sauce. Get more of this shit. I'm at the truck, like, yo, let me get a little jar of that shit. I take that shit home.
Yeah, that Tzatziki sauce, that shit go crazy.
I'm dipping Tostitos in the shit. Like, that shit good as a motherfucker. But it's like, yo, the food truck, which used to be like, you can go get lunch real quick from the food truck for $4 or $5, that shit is $13 now. Remember that little truck we used to go to around the corner? I went there a couple weeks ago. I'm looking at the shit like, yo, a mild sausage is $6.50 at the food truck now? Like,
that's
what
a
the
pack
fuck?
of mild sausage.
That's a pack of these Jones.
Pack of Ed Hips.
Habibi, what are you doing back there? Like, dog. So when you got that just all around, when you come to these moments and these things, look at how people were scrambling to try to sell them Beyonce tickets the other day. Because everybody bought them tickets, like, oh, I'm going to flip these Jones, get some good paper. And then you realize, like, no, there's two. In that case, the supply met the demand because she got so many cities and so much shit she doing. Like, we discussed that on the Patreon. But there's almost too much, and people don't have enough money for just life.
Yeah, people are having to pick and choose
bills, let alone experience.
Like, what can I skip that's not going to report on my credit? Like, motherfuckers is we just had that conversation.
Straight up.
Like, on a given month, I think most Americans right now have enough cash flow to pay anywhere between 75 to 90% of their bills. So that means on a given month, they're skipping either 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 4 bills got to get skipped and put back or on some sort of payment plan or whatever the fuck the case may be. Fran Drescher just spoke on it when she just was doing the SAG after John or whatever, talking about the fact that, like, the inequities and all of that financially for some of the people working on these sets. And it's like, yo, the average American, we've said this on the show for the last 2 years, doesn't have $500 in case of a fucking emergency.
Yep. Straight up.
Like, it's hard out here. So it's like, so just because it's summertime doesn't mean that all you niggas get to roll out your headlining concerts at the same time.
I had to call my
at
homie,
these premium prices.
I had a phone conversation with my homie the other day, and he was just like, yo, dog, like, me and my girl have already made, like, the determination, like, we're packing it up for the year. Like, we are on ice for the rest of the year just because it's like, yo.
Me and Chad already said, we chalked 23.
I'm already in 2024.
I said it the other day. Like, I'm packing it up for the rest of the year just because it's like, yo, this shit doesn't make much sense. Like, when I go to the market and I see, like, a pack of raw burgers now, like the Wahlburgers or the fucking McKinley & Sons burgers or whatever, 4 raw burgers is $15. It was never like that.
Yeah.
Like, you was never paying $14.99 for 4 raw beef patties. Straight up. But that's where we at. So it's like, you see shit like that. A pound of salmon now is fucking $28. Crazy.
Yeah, salmon fillets is like fucking $10.
Remember when they was $4 a piece everywhere?
$10 a piece now.
Yeah.
$9.99 salmon fillets.
Yeah. Straight up.
4 ounces.
4 ounces, not even the 5 or the 6, the 4. And that's with the skin on. Yeah.
You gotta de-skin it at the crib, big bro. You got a good knife.
You want them knives to bed? Shing. But yeah, it's crazy. So, you know, I found out about it's fun, like, Deke gonna be mad. I got a meat connect. You know what I'm saying?
Ultra Paul.
Yeah. No, let me tell you, at Marv crib yesterday, I'm telling them about the fact that I never had the halal truck or whatever. And Marv St. Joe was like, you really never been to halal, Joe? His man was like, I mean, I feel him. Like, some people just ain't into street meat. And everybody like
street meat.
Marv was like, yo, man, do 10 push-ups and take a lap around the block.
Everybody ain't in the street.
Everybody not into street meat. But no, it's the truth. It's like, yo, you got so much of this inflation just on life, let alone an experience that you don't necessarily need.
Yeah.
Like if I'm living in fucking, like you said, offbeat. Like if I'm living in Staunton, Virginia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or Waynesboro, Virginia.
Yeah.
Shit is already fucked up enough and already tough
Right,
enough.
exactly. Just existing. On a wake up is bad.
So it's like, yeah, I don't really need to see Uzi at the fucking, you know, the community center.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like that's just not what I need right now.
Then Playboy Cardi just announced his tour for the fucking end of this year, beginning of next year. It's just like, where do y'all think we getting all this money from?
At this point, it's like the super mega artists can kind of command the shit that they command.
Yeah, people going to find money for Drake.
People gonna find money for Drake,
They
for
gonna find
Beyonce,
money for
for
Beyonce.
the weekend.
The rest of you niggas.
Rest of y'all, just not even trying to be funny. I saw Pusha T canceling shows. I saw looking at Uzi cancel shows. Dirk had to cancel shows. Like that's just reality, yo. Shit, we experiencing it now with our fucking week. Like it's just people are reeling right now. And it's just like, you know, like I want to go.
And there's no, on the creator side, there's no perfect time to roll shit out because you would think the more runway you give people, the more they would be prepared in anticipation to be able to
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you.
parse the money away to afford this shit, and it still ends up backfiring because you look up and you go from 14 weeks out and then you look up and it's 2 weeks away and people still like, fuck, like, how did this happen?
I'm about to tell you. So just off of the strength that you and me now are kind of like veterans in this live podcast shit, we've done a bevy of shows in multiple different places. And one thing I've kind of realized is like, one thing we haven't figured out yet is that right time.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we did a show one time on like 2 weeks, 3 weeks notice. And people was like, yeah, I mean, you got to give people a little bit more time. But then you give people 3 months. And the problem with that is,
oh, we got plenty of time.
Not even that we got plenty of time, but more so like, motherfuckers might not want to admit it, but it's like the look around like, I don't know what it's going to be looking like in 3 months.
Right.
So I can't even commit to this shit financially right now.
Sure.
Because I might be in the feds. You know what I'm saying? Witness protection.
Indictment season is looming.
You don't know where the fuck you going to be. So it's finding that balance of when does this drop? When does this happen? How does this come out?
Yeah.
Because you do got to realize that these are people dealing with real life outside of this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you got a bunch of supporters who took a beating in the stock market or took a beating in crypto, don't let motherfuckers have been buying NFTs. We was talking about that NFT shit last night. Apparently, the brother, what's his name?
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul bought an NFT for $623,000 that's now worth $10.
Yeah, Justin Bieber, 1.3, John worth, I think, 10 grand.
Yo, and we were talking about it last night. Like, it's something that people don't, it's almost like, it's like the elephant in the room, like hush hush, but nobody wants to talk about how the NFT bag, like the bottom of it fell out worse than the crypto shit.
Yeah, because it's not based on anything.
Right.
Like, it's supposed to be supported. Here's the thing with the NFT shit. It's supposed to be supported by the blockchain.
Right.
And the blockchain was based around Ethereum, and Ethereum is the basis for a lot of subsequent coins and all of that shit that got issued.
That was like Doge and all that
exactly.
shit.
So the thought process is, all right, cool. If it's backed by Ethereum, which is the second strongest cryptocurrency that's out there, then that automatically makes it solvent as long as Ethereum is solvent.
Right.
So with with cryptocurrency, it's sort of like a stock. The more people that are in on it, the higher the value. The more people that are soft on it or exiting or selling out, whatever, the less value that you inherently have, because that means that less people are using this as a currency exchange on a day-to-day basis. Now, what people thought with the NFT shit in general was crypto was going to boom. You had analysts that were predicting $250,000 for Bitcoin.
I remember watching
$10,000 for Ethereum.
I remember on
shit
Mad
like
Money, they said Bitcoin was gonna hit 300 grand.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
So it's like people were looking at it from that standpoint and looking at it like, damn, I already missed the first boom on crypto when Bitcoin went to 60K. I'm not gonna miss this NFT shit. So then you had people that were basically just buying up any NFT that they could. And it's like, all right, the more money that people had at their disposal, the more big game hunting that they did in regards to these NFTs, expecting appreciation, not understanding that, like, yo, all this shit is just digital art. It's just a motherfucker with fucking photos with Adobe Photoshop or fucking Adobe Creator Suite fucking making these fucking Jones, and it's like a fucking monkey wearing a Bape hoodie and some fucking Jean Paul Gaultier glasses. Yeah, 88,000. Like dumbass shit like that.
Yeah, I got a picture of Mario Lopez. What was that? What I said?
In a white Coogee with some
in
rollerblades.
a Coogee rollerblade. 215,000. Like
dumbass shit.
I was
like
watching
that.
the joint where they was talking about the most expensive NFTs, the Merge. That shit sold for $98 million. Like, it's a photo, like a computer image, almost like a Where's Waldo joint. It's like that shit sold for $98 million at an auction.
Yeah, them pixelated joints.
The pixel is you can't see it. It's like just a big. You never seen that shit? It almost looks like a Where's Waldo joint. Where they, I'm
you know how they blur out your picture when you on TV?
They digitize it.
Yeah,
right.
just like that.
That's crazy. 98 million.
that joint. I remember seeing that on TV. Let me look.
Yeah,
up
that's
make sure
crazy. But what people missed in the whole NFT boom is that unlike cryptocurrency, there's no value exchange.
91.8 million.
91.8 million.
The merge.
But what people missed is that there's no true like value exchange. It's just like, give me your money or give me your equivalent money in cryptocurrency and I give you this motherfucking picture. And then if it sells or whatever, you put it on the blockchain and then it sells, you make residual income off of selling it as it continues to sell down the chain as the original owner of this non-fungible token or whatever the case may be. But it's just like, what if the value, nobody ever thought, what if the value goes down? Which is a very simple, straightforward fucking analysis and a way to think about this shit. And nobody thought about that. Like, we've seen crypto, we've seen Bitcoin hit 60,000, 62,000. We've seen it be at 14,000. Like, so why didn't people ever consider like, yo, this might be a bad investment. I might need to get out of this shit.
Beeple is a NFT billionaire. NFT billionaire is a virtual billionaire and is a fictional virtual investor with an enormous imaginary portfolio with a virtual net worth based on live stock exchange pricing. What the fuck does that mean?
Like, this is like some Inception shit. This is a Christopher Nolan movie at this point.
Yo! A fictional virtual investor with an enormous imaginary portfolio.
Yeah, so
I'm an NFT billionaire.
Yeah, so Pete, right? So we in the real world.
All right, boom.
So we in the real world, right? And then you got the digital world. So I'm gonna take you out the real world and put you in the digital world. But then there's a digital world inside that digital world, and then there's another smaller digital community within those two digial worlds.
And in that community, I'm the man.
You the man.
I'm the fucking man.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yo. NFT shit is insane.
You just had Zuck fucking recently lost like 40 billion of his net worth fucking around with this metaverse and all of this old shit.
I told you,
that
Mark,
people wanted to be the man in digital fucking spaces.
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg, his billionaireage is like very tumultuous.
Worst billionaire ever.
Dog, his net worth fluctuates so much, it's unbelievable.
Bezos and Elon should just keep going up. This nigga is like, this is yo-yoing every day.
Straight up. Like, straight the fuck up, man.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, the NFT shit, it's a wrap. You know what I mean?
Complete wrap. The one joint I was looking at on crypto.com said that when they do the NFT transfer, like the calculator, $1 US right now in the NFT world is basically worth 0.001 whatever. So basically like 100th of a cent is what $1 is worth.
You get NFT. Nothing.
Yeah, basically nothing.
Horrible exchange rate.
Horrible exchange rate. We'll need a lot of dollars to get to a couple dollars in NFT.
Yeah, no thanks.
And I'm like, yo, it's crazy because like no one acknowledges, like when everybody makes all this big fuss about crypto, they make all these big fusses about all these bank failures and this and other, but it's like the NFT shit is like, yeah, no, I bought an NFT for $3 million, you know, it's only worth 20 grand, but whatever,
It's like, who's more rife for the taking than a 25 or a 28-year-old multi-millionaire, quarter of a billionaire, like
tech motherfucker.
Like, who's more rife for the fucking taking? Yeah, so when you see Logan Paul, Justin Bieber, all the people that got beat, it's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, what is this? This is a picture of Uncle Dave from Wendy's with Wendy, his granddaughter. I got the only one. That's worth $824,000.
Give me 10 of them.
Straight up. They had like pictures, like I saw Kim K and Kanye on the steps at the Met. Like somebody had the only angle of that shot with him with the eyes, with that jacket and shit. And that shit went for like 136 grand. I'm just like, yeah, like, I remember my dad one day was like, you the go-to for all this type of stuff. Because I explained crypto pretty well to him. I explained different things. He was like, break this NFT thing down to me. I'm like, I'm be honest with you, I got nothing. Because I don't understand it at all. And we were trying to figure it out because we wanted to release our shows as NFTs, like a couple of our live shows because they were like private Jones. Yeah. And we released, remember that day we sat in my crib for like an hour and we were just trying to like figure it out and how to go about it, and was just like, man, let's just put them Jones on the Patreon because this is confusing. So to see it now where you got somebody who spent 623 grand on an NFT that's now worth 10 fucking bucks. Yeah. That's like worse than any stock exchange. Like the Black Friday and the Depression didn't hit that goddamn hard. You know what I mean? I watched a little documentary on how the whole Black Friday shit, it was basically what it was runs on banks that created that shit. Yeah. Basically, a motherfucker just came in the bank and was like, I want my money. And people overheard that and was like, oh, I want my money too. Yeah. And it started they call it people was running to the bank, taking their money out. And that's what the fuck happened.
Yeah, when the bank doesn't have, that's what just happened with all these bank closures and shit. When the bank doesn't have enough cash reserves on hand to cover the amount of money that's going out, that's called a run on the bank.
Run on the bank, yeah.
Yeah, your solvency rate drops below a certain number, and then the fucking feds come in and take that shit over.
Yep, straight up. Rest in peace to everybody's NFT.
Yeah, for sure.
Y'all took a beating on that shit, man.
Yeah, I got beat up. Not too bad. In crypto, I got beat up on the stock market too.
Somebody yesterday, because remember, motherfuckers was investing left and right, and somebody yesterday was like, "Yo, bro, what's up with the investing?" He was just like, "Man, I ain't, man." Yeah. And it's just like, yo, it's crazy because everybody done fallen back for it. And you remember, me and Kevin was talking about, like, do you remember when if you didn't get in, like, the crypto shit, you was a dickhead?
Yeah, you a fucking fool.
Like, you a loser. And I remember I didn't get too far in just because I couldn't understand it at the time. You broke it down a little bit where it was like, all right, I understand the blockchain part of it now. And I understand that it is actually backed by something. Right. But then you see the situation with Bankman-Fried where it's like, what do you do when somebody creates 2 billion tokens that ain't backed by shit?
Ain't backed by shit.
They ain't just out there.
It's backed by these.
Yeah. So it's like, it is volatile and it's very scary. Did you see the situation? Me and Marv was talking about this yesterday. Did you see, I'm not going to say their name because they don't sponsor the show. Okay. But a investing app that's pretty well known.
Okay.
The kid got on there. He was 17, signed up for an account, and he basically started putting put options on different stocks. Okay. Did you see this?
No.
He started doing put options on different stocks. Margin call happened.
Yeah.
And he didn't realize, like, he was basically taking these loans that were not
he was buying stock on margin.
On margin. Margin call happened, and he owed $712 grand. He panicked and killed himself.
Oh, shit.
So now his parents is suing said app because they don't have anything in. You know, when you sign up for it, it's basically like, do you know what you're doing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
What level of investor are you? Beginner, intermediate, advanced.
And you click a button and now you in there and you allowed to really put in, like, it ain't no type of screening, no type of nothing. And he literally did the shit and he wound up owing $700 grand and he panicked. Thinking like, oh, my life is ruined. They gonna come kill me, lock my mom, lock the house, lock me up, take the house, all this shit.
Grand larceny.
Yeah, and he committed suicide.
Fuck.
And now his parents are suing. And we was talking about this shit yesterday. Like, that's part of the social media where it's like, I ain't dating no bus driver. You better be the boss. It's get all to the bag. Of that get the bag culture is like infecting even the youth. Where they're like, you remember as a kid, it was like, yo, I get a summer job paying $8 an hour. I'm a king. You know what I'm saying?
Take my girl out this week, buy some sneaks next week.
I'm coming back to school with all the new CDs. Like, yeah, I'm a king.
Yeah.
And now I see it where, like, are kids still working summer jobs where they make $8, $9 an hour?
Fuck no.
Crazy.
Working a block. Working this motherfucking tether. Working the fucking card reader and stealing people information. They working that shit.
Crazy as fuck, man.
But yeah, it's like we have overexposed everyone, our youth especially, to 1% lifestyle, to outliers, and not explaining that they're fucking outliers.
Right.
Like, we showing them, oh yeah, the top 10 kids that made money on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, the top 10 kids out of how many?
Out of billions.
Out of billions of fucking kids that have YouTube channels. Like, what are y'all talking about? Like, y'all, we overexpose people to shit in the name of being aspirational, and it ends up just making people more fucking depressed. Like,
Do you like it's funny you brought that up. Let's go down that road for a quick second. Do you remember when like Wu-Tang were like the biggest rappers on earth, right? Yeah. Nas was one of the biggest rappers on earth. You had A Tribe Called Quest, you had Biggie, you had who else was pretty? Heavy D,
LL Cool J.
Yeah. Do you remember where it was like you knew they was getting money because motherfuckers had like nice cars and gold chains and shit like that? But I don't remember knowing Heavy D's net worth. I don't remember knowing Eric B and Rakim's net worth. Like, I don't remember seeing Biggie's car collection every day on my YouTube feed. I don't remember seeing, who else I say? A Tribe Called Quest tour income. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we've gotten to the point now where we throw these numbers. I saw a joint today that was like, Jaylen Brown is in position to get the biggest contract in NBA history.
$304 million.
And it's just like, yo, like, to it, they're on the joint discussing, is he worth that? And it's people who have never dribbled a basketball was like, man, I wish I would give Jaylen Brown 300 million. Like, and it's just, we throw these numbers around arbitrarily, and it's just like, nothing else behind this.
We've already said it. The average person in the United States of America needs an Econ 101 refresher. They need microeconomics and macroeconomics. These people don't understand shit.
No.
They don't understand basic supply and fucking demand. Like, so with that being said, it's like, yo, we put these huge numbers in front of people's face in the name of public discourse and trying to create conversation on social media apps and in the comments and all of that shit. And these motherfuckers really wouldn't know what to do with if they was making an extra $1,000 a week.
That's why Mark Cuban is like, put their ass
put their ass on a motherfucking payment plan.
Put their ass on payment plan, they be all right.
So it's like most people aren't qualified to fucking speak on this shit. And then when you call them out for not being qualified, you're a dickhead.
You're a weirdo.
I go out of my way to when they posted Jay-Z's, one of them pages posted Jay-Z's boat tail fucking Rolls Royce or whatever. It's like $28 million Rolls Royce and blah, blah, blah. And I'm reading through the comments. I said, look at all these poor people telling a rich person that this is a bad investment. This car is like a one of three. Y'all fucking have no idea what his plans are for this automobile. Mm-hmm. Like, he's not drag racing this shit on Passyunk Avenue. Like, this is a fucking collector's item that he's going to be able to
If you think Jay is coming down like Rich Boy,
this is not one of those. Yeah. Like, this is a rolling collector's fucking item. And it's a thing that he's going to be able to fucking have that's going to be in a museum one fucking day because it's Jay-Z's custom-made Rolls Royce boat tail that came from Rolls Royce. That car is going to appreciate in value, not depreciate. This is not your mom's fucking Toyota Corolla that lost 20% when she drove it off the lot. This is not one of those situations.
No. Straight up, I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about the whole watch thing, and he was like, yo, it's crazy because like y'all talk about watches like a lot, and y'all have made me kind of like start really looking at watches and really paying attention to it. And he was like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really understand the nuance or like why is the watch thing important. And I'm like, this is the simplest way I can break it down. It's like it's a wearable piece of art. It's a wearable piece of art, and it's a cool way to park your money.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look at it like this. If somebody years ago bought a fucking a reference number 17,000 Rolex, right? That joint appreciates. If you buy it for $7,000, it appreciates with fucking value. You go buy a 30th anniversary Prezi, it appreciates with value. You go buy a factory set diamond from the fucking AP, they're just gonna appreciate. Right. That's just what they are. And you know, at the end of the day, it's like a piece of art hanging on your walls, like a statue, a cool Daniel Arsham fucking piece or whatever.
A skilled craftsman made this.
Right. It's going to appreciate, especially when you talk about the precious metals and the different balance wheels and tibions that are being used. They're all different types of things. So it's just like it's a cool wearable way to park some money.
And it's a conversation starter.
Yeah.
And it's a conversation starter. It's a wearable piece of art. It's a conversation starter, and it's a status symbol.
Right.
And it literally shows people, like, in real time, in places where you can't bring your Mercedes or your BMW, whatever, that you are at a certain taste level,
right,
and that you understand craftsmanship.
Yeah, Dunbar was saying, like, the Richard Mille, it's like, yeah, I can't bring my Ferrari in the club.
Right.
Or in the party. I tried. But since I can't, here you go. All right. Yeah. So, you know, it's just one of those things where it's like we're overexposed now, even with the watch shit to a certain degree. Like, they make an emphasis to show you Bad Bunny's green sapphire skull Richard Mille that's worth $6 billion, or Drake's Raphael Nadal that was custom made with the sapphire case that's 2.2 for the Raphael Nadal. They make it a thing to show you Jay-Z's Samurai Richard Mille, and you get like to where you're not even really respecting this as like $1 million watch.
Yeah.
To understand, like, do you know the place you got to be in to spend $1 million on a watch?
Yeah, you gotta literally have $1 billion. Like,
you got
any financial advisor would tell you, before you spend $1 million on a watch, you gotta have $1 billion.
You got to be rolling in it.
You gotta be rolling in dough.
And it works the same way coming down, where it's like, look at us. Like, you haul off and get a diamond dial date, just, you know what I'm saying? That's a big accomplishment. Yeah. Like, you get to a Daytona, nigga, that's a big ass accomplishment. So it's like, that's kind of what it is.
And the overexposure to these numbers and these values and all of this old shit,
it's making us it's trivial now.
It's making people trip. It's trivial, and it's making people trip the fuck out. Where, like, people are like, oh, I think Rihanna had on, like,
she had a $70,000 Jacob.
And people was like, oh, that's it?
Dog, I seen that same
Oh, that's
post.
it?
Yes.
The average black American makes $41,500. The average white American makes $50,000 a year. What the fuck do you mean, oh, that's it? Like, people that literally will never even touch this stuff, don't know where to buy it from, don't know where to find it, even online, other than social fucking media, are like, oh, that's it?
Dog, I saw that same post. They had her outfit, and it showed the watch. It was a $70,000 red Jacob & Co. And motherfuckers was really in the comments like, damn, I thought Rihanna would have something crazy on her wrist. And I'm like, that's crazy.
That's crazy that your poor ass is saying that.
I'm like,
this is
what?
not crazy. Like,
and I'm looking at the person writing it like, I'm like opening up like, this better be Hov. I get there, it is. Because if Hov say that, it's like, all right. But this is just a bitch named Nancy or something. And it's just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Society has overexposed people to shit. And
to where you look at these people and you think like, oh, Rihanna's a billionaire. Her watch should be $2 million. And it's just like, what if I just like the red watch? Yeah. What if I'm really into this piece? Dunbar the other day was talking about a watch Jay had on at a function that looks like an Apple Watch. It's $30,000. And he like, Jay doing shit like that let me know he really in it to be in it. Yeah. He not doing shit just on some like, I'm balling harder than you niggas. Like, no, this nigga cares about watches. Cause it's like, that's one of those, if you know, you know.
Exactly.
And it's like, yeah, that's really the way it go. Pusha T said it best. I don't buy watches, I buy collections. Some motherfuckers is just like that. Yeah. And it's just a cool wearable piece of art. That's it. I respect it. Like, I've gotten to the point where I look at the watch and I look at it's one of the first things I notice all the time. You know what I mean? It's just, it's a cool thing. So I respect people buying dope watches and buying nice pieces and having this and really understanding. The other day I went down the fucking rabbit hole of looking at the Aquanauts. And I'm just like, man, that is a cool
It's a cool fucking watch.
That's a cool, like, they got like the army green John, the orange John. I'm just like, did you know Tiffany has more Pateks other than the sky blue dial? They got a black one and a white one and shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? I started going down the whole rabbit hole. They released another one for 23, like with the new class. Yeah. Yeah, like so the one that came out before is actually a little cheaper. When I say a little cheaper, it's $2.8 million. Yeah. The new one is 3.2 or whatever. And you know, just
I saw a Tiffany stamp GMT the other day. Like there's Rolexes that have Tiffany stamps and shit on them from the 70s and 80s and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Back when they used to fucking, you know, collaborate and all that before the formation of this conglomerate that's now LVMH or whatever like that. But yeah, I mean, it's you know, it's art in real time. It's mechanisms. It's, you know, power reserves. It's fucking tourbillons, date windows, and all this different stuff, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, it's a very cool hobby. It's a very cool thing to observe. It's something to aspire to. But I think that in general, we've gotten to the point where like too many people have gotten introduced to it that don't have it as a genuine hobby or understand the shit.
It's just a name.
It is just they're just going for the status attached to the shit and speaking around the whole watch community as like if you don't break a certain number, you ain't shit, or what you wearing ain't shit. And
you could go get the average person, and this ain't even a knock or a diss. I know because I was like that at one point. You go get the average person and just like, when did this watch go into production? When did it stop getting produced? For like big watches, motherfuckers would not know that the Hawk don't come out no more.
People barely knew in the black community, especially barely knew that Rolexes had years. Like until Watches and Wonders the last 2 years, motherfuckers had no idea that like, yo, they're like that watch. I can tell by the bracelet or by the fucking the bezel, whatever the fuck.
Your rehold, like where the number is, that means something up to a certain point because certain years start with certain letters and numbers. And you know, you go back certain points, the number isn't even on the rehold. It's on where the crown is.
Exactly.
Or in fact, some of them are where the bracelet connects. So it's a lot of little shit that go into it, and there are real live watch enthusiasts, there are real live watch collectors, then there are novice people who just like, my goal is to get that watch. Right. Like I want that one, like Jules always like, I want the gold Prezi with the fucking factory diamond dot, like that's the joint. Like, so you know, you respect it from both ways. But then you got the people that's just like, Richard. Right. I don't give a fuck what it do, Richard. Because that's the new wave. And when it wasn't Richard, it was Patek. When it wasn't Patek, it was AP. When it wasn't AP, it was Rolly. When it wasn't Rolly, it was Cartier. When it wasn't Cartier, it was remember the old school Jacob? I still want one of them just on some vanity play shit. But like,
somebody had, ASAP Ferg was been wearing.
Yeah, I seen that. But yeah, you know, it's just a cool thing. But like the overexposure, not even from watches, cars. We don't respect cars anymore. Nope. You remember when
you ain't got the 63S? You want some bullshit.
Nigga, I'll take you there. Biggie was straight up rapping about Pathfinders. Wu-Tang niggas was rapping about MPV.
Our heroes was rapping about $30,000 cars.
Dog.
That was the pinnacle.
Dog.
A BMW 325i in the 90s, you was the nigga.
Nas said, if I ruled the world, I'd push a Q45 Infinite. Dog. I'm not making that up. Nas on a track where he was discussing going on vacation, freeing criminals, all that shit. Banking Coretta Scott King, the fucking mayor, all that. When it got time to him to say, like, if I ruled the world, what car I would get, that nigga said, I'd get a Q45 Infinite.
I remember Ooh from 58th Street had the copper joint.
Nigga.
Yeah, I had the white Q45. And I had it on my pager. When you call it, that'd be the music come on. If I rule the world of things, then the sky's the limit.
Straight up. I remember when one of the old heads around my wakeboard, Act Legend. Dang. He pulled up in that joint. We was like, yo.
Yo, shout out to my man Buck back to New Buck. They on a 90s car wave. Yeah. They grabbed the Act Legend.
I see the big bodies was a 500 or 600.
They got two 500 Benzes, a 740. They got
740s was nasty. Yeah.
They got the LS 400.
The wagon, yo. I remember one of the niggas from around my way. He said one of the old heads, he had a white wagon and they went down to either Virginia Beach or one of them took it down. Yeah. He's like, they was at the gas station. He had his music blasting. He's like, another nigga pulled up in a wagon. He had his music blasting. So he's like, he turned his shit up. Then Bull turned his shit up. He turned his shit up harder. He's like, he opened the wagon. He cracked the subwoofer. He's like, yo, I know these niggas not battling right now. They get it in right now. Like, yo, but that's like, they were really, really rapping about and speaking about these cars as like the pinnacle of life. And we talking about $40,000 sedans. That's what niggas knew. And then, you know, you saw the influx of like the Puff Daddy, Jay-Z years where it was like, Bentley.
Yep.
Like if you get
they fucked the game up.
The Bentley Azure or the Bentley Arnage, you are like, I remember the first time seeing a Bentley Arnage on the street. I was like, who the fuck is that? First time we seen Allen Iverson on City Ave, he was driving a Rolls Royce Caniche. And it was just like, yo, what the fuck? Like, cause that shit was like unbelievable to get a Rolls Royce or a Bentley. And then, you know, the real cool down south years brought the dunk shit, which was like their way of expressing themselves. But then the money started to stretch and you started to see like Birdman and then with Ferraris and like Lamborghinis and shit like that. And then it was just like, whoa, niggas is getting Lambos and Ferraris. Like, what the fuck? Remember that scene with DMX in the movie where he came in the dealership and cranked the music? Black was like, turn that fucking shit. Like, it was like to have a Lamborghini Diablo or a Countach was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. And you can have an old one.
An old one. You have a 9.8 Diablo? Nigga.
87, my man.
No.
87. Them bitches did not know what year that joint was.
And we saw the influx of the sport car shit into the hip hop arena because it was never sports cars. It was, you can't, and think about it, Wu-Tang is 40 of them. You can only get 2 Wu-Tang members in a sports car, so we're going to need a lot of sports cars. As opposed to these 3 MPVs, everybody can roll. So we saw the influx of that, and then once we cracked that Lil Wayne and Birdman Bugatti shit, now it's like, I seen a thing the other day where it's like, oh, Rick Ross got 4 Bugattis at his crib. And it's just like...
In 4 Mansory Rolls Royces.
And people are...
Every fucking Rolls Royce that they have, he has the Mansory edition.
And people are like, oh, that's cool. And it's like, no, that's more than cool. That's like $20 million in cars, my nigga. Like, we've gotten to that point where, like, a Lambo Urus ain't like a thing. It's like, oh, that's cool. I don't really... You hear people that don't have no Lamborghini, like, I don't really fuck with the Urus. Listen. And it's just like, my man was like, no, because Drake was like, I never hopped in a Urus. It's like, that's Drake. Yes. You aren't Drake. You get your hands on a Urus, you better cherish that motherfucker.
But the Urus is ruined for me because now I know like the cheat code, and especially how cheap they are now. You put $25,000 down and you get a $3,000 a month payment. You jump in the Urus, like that shit is not hard. Like, so when I see Adam 22 go buy his baby mama Urus, which I don't even think he did because he's not even that type of guy. But when I see them make that video, I'm like, oh yeah, you got a $3,000 a month payment. You make $1 million a month sometimes. Like this is nothing. Get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, I think, but that's kind of what, like you saying, it's just like we've gotten to a point where these big ass situations aren't even viewed in the same light no more because of the simple fact that you hear all this finance shit all day, you hear all this money shit all day, you hear all of these different things, and it's like, yo, we're talking about astronomical numbers. We're talking about top 1% numbers going up on the board, and people are just like arbitrarily like, I mean, yeah, like I told you, Mike Rubin was number 19 on the Philly list. I'm like, damn, 19.
Shit rough, man.
Imagine starting a fucking sports book and selling the Sixers, and you imagine 19.
Imagine going from selling skis to literally being part of a sports entertainment group that owns the New Jersey Devils, the Philadelphia 76ers, and later ended up buying the Washington fucking Commanders, and you number 19
on the list.
Gotta step your cookies up, Mike.
Yeah, you gotta do some more next year. Next year. Maybe charge people to get into that party or something. Like, dog. But yeah, we're all just kind of disillusioned at times.
That's a great word.
We're very disillusioned with actual money and actual things. So to bring this whole thing we started talking about with like these concerts not selling and people having to cancel, it's just like, yo, money is fucked up. And it's getting more and more fucked up. Somebody recently hit me and was like, yo, I loved on the show when you was like, you have perception and you have reality. And the further they get away from each other, you get more tension. And it's like, yeah, that's the God's honest truth. Because we exist here and our minds are existing here. Mm-hmm. Sort of like that NFT shit. There's so much tension and there's so much hurt and so much harm and so much terribleness because we're not being realistic anymore.
Yeah.
We're just not. You know, people took all that money. They went to Tulum 80 times. They fucking bought all kinds of cars and watches and clothes and all of that shit. And now we essentially dealing with the after effects of the economy getting influxed. Mm-hmm. Now the Fed raises the interest rate. So that
every damn month.
So that makes everything kind of go out of whack. You see high-end goods go through the fucking moon. You can't name me one high-end good right now that didn't just skyrocket. Name one.
They all did.
You can't.
It's impossible.
We literally just told you how fucking fitted hats are $50 now. We saw what happened with watches. We saw what happened with luxury bags. We saw what happened with luxury clothes. Somebody on Reddit made a joint where they were showing it's these jeans that the bitches wear. They're from Balenciaga, and they almost look like I said, those Lita pants. like those big balloon pants, or whatever.
Yeah.
That same pant 3 years ago was $1,900. Granted, $1,900 is ridiculous for some fucking jeans, but they was $1,900. This season, a variation got released. They're $26.98 from Balenciaga.
Yeah, for sure. Balenciaga has no problem with sticking a collective
Extra
dick in everybody's ass.
$800 on the jeans.
Y'all gonna
Fuck
buy
it.
them anyway. Fuck it. Don't care.
This is not a different type of denim.
Here's the thing.
$2,800 for jeans.
The people in charge of these companies have more data, more trends, and more information at their disposal than ever. And they understand that majority of the buying public are super duper dick eaters. So all we have to do is place this product on people that y'all like, and y'all are gonna pay whatever for it. You will beg, borrow, and steal to get these fat ass pants. It also look like Jabos.
They look like Jabos, don't they?
Y'all will beg, borrow, and steal to get these fat ass pants because y'all saw Jada Waiter wearing them, or whoever the fuck else y'all like $2,550. Like
$2,600. They was $1,800 2 seasons
man, this is stupid. Extra $750 a pop because y'all dick riders. Like,
are you dicky?
Are you dicky? Bet. Dicky and tax. Extra $750. Like
dicky and tax.
We do it to ourselves, man. I said it several times on this show and on social media. Black people on the whole.
No, they really do look like Jabos.
They look like Jabos.
And you know what the funniest part is? You remember them jeans that the corny niggas where you could disconnect the pants and wear them in the shorts?
It's like, yo, I said this shit on our show several times and on social media. Like, black people in particular are complicit in our own fucking economic destruction. Like, we have no problem with paying into whatever is fucking cool, hip, or trendy to look cool, not understanding that we're fucking off our financial future in the fucking in the process, man. And we do it with a smile on our face, and then fucking post on Instagram on some weird Lil Uzi Vert pose, and then tag every fucking designer on the fucking post because of the culture currency attached to. Oh, you got that shit on. Either you got some bullshit on. You could have people buying corny hot shit during the pandemic, and y'all fucking still is tagging because y'all understand like, oh yeah, well I mean he got it on. He got the shit. He could paid that shit like a $4,000 outfit, $4,000 terrible ass outfit. Yeah. And then more dick eaters are gonna come to y'all and double tap and like this shit.
Like a $4,000 outfit is crazy, and we're so fucked off now. Nobody even blinks an eye.
No.
Like if you make $50,000 a year, right?
If you got 10 $4,000 outfits.
Having a $4,000 outfit is insane.
No financial advisor would advise that.
No. To have a $4,000 outfit on any given night, you should realistically be making $500,000 a year.
Yes.
To justify you having on one outfit, because you gotta have other outfits.
For sure.
Unless you, Hulk the Hulkster. Like, you gotta have other shit to put on.
Peter Griffin. You got the same shit on every fucking day.
Straight up. Like, so having on one of your outfits and it be $4,000 is like, how much are your other outfits?
Oh, they from Temu.
Yeah, the new Chinese Amazon.
Yeah, that's funny as shit.
My girl was explaining that Temu shit to me the other day. Are you familiar with it?
Never heard of it.
All right, so Temu is like basically like a Chinese Amazon, and you can go on the app and like play games and shit to where they'll send you coupons, and basically you can damn near get your order for like free.
Sort of like the Acme app.
Sound like the Acme app. So now like all of the kids and shit is like getting these fucking just getting on Temu and all that, and then fucking carting all of this shit like $300 worth of shit, and then they'll get enough coupons where they fucking order might be $30, but it take like 2 weeks to come, whatever like that, because it's coming from China.
Yeah, somebody got to on a raft. Yeah, right.
Like this. Get young boys these cargo pants.
Get this young boy these cargo pants.
They on a canoe.
On a canoe.
The joint you ride with your bitch when you be pedaling and shit.
The clear boat.
Yeah. Where
All
you
the way
going?
from
New
China.
York, nigga.
Be there for 17
Yeah,
days.
come back. We got some more orders for
Yeah.
you. Oh, shit.
That's funny as
Turn
shit.
this shit around.
No, I never heard of it though.
Yeah, I just found out about it a week ago. Shit blew my mind. Then I started going on social media and seeing
What's
people
the?
talking
I
about it.
just found out what the John because I be seeing the chick and all the chicks posts. Sheen.
Oh, yeah, the Sheen. Yeah, Sheen, yeah.
I just found out what that was a couple days ago.
Sheen right now is being sued by a bunch of different independent creators saying that basically they stole their shit. The same shit Fashion Nova does.
Okay.
My man Sam from Detroit got a clothing line. Sorry, I was trapping. I got a bunch of shit I wore on the show before. He's fucking.
Is
What's
that
the
the
name?
girls are drug shit? Is that from them?
No.
Okay.
But Fashion Nova stole his shit like word for word. The whole everything, just stole it. Like, oh, I know this nigga ain't got no paperwork. He's a smart nigga. He was incorporated, got all his fucking trademarks, copyrights, and all that. So he got a lawsuit right now with Fashion Nova for like $8 million or some shit like that. So Shein is doing the same thing. So now we got all these independent creators coming together on a class action. They filed a civil RICO against Shein because Shein apparently is a multinational corporation with all these subsidiaries, shell corps, and all this shit where it's like you can't get to like the top of the pyramid. You can't find Shein. You know what I'm saying? It's like all these like local distros and all this
I'm here for Shein.
Who's that? Oh, no, Shein.
Yeah.
So they basically filed a civil RICO against them in order to get them to lay out like the corporate path and all of that shit so that they know like what the fuck is going on. But yeah, these companies is basically it's like, you know, it's like Israeli billionaires and Saudi billionaires and all of that just putting up a grip of money to say, all right, Fashion Nova, we're going to create the fucking Israeli equivalent to that, whatever the fuck. And they just have so much money to throw at this shit, it can't fail.
You see, it's a whole joint now where they're talking about indictments and all that shit for the Live Golf PGA merger and all that crazy shit.
Really?
Yeah, because, you know, people got fucked up with money in that shit.
Yeah.
Like, it was motherfuckers that turned down a lot of bread. And, like, PGA Tour was, like, leaning on niggas. Like, come on, man, America, man. Come on, do the right thing, man. Don't take that bread. Just for them to partner with the motherfuckers is kind of nuts when you think about it, man. Yeah, but we've just been overexposed to mega amounts of money and opulence to the point where regular people we think that shit is like normal, and we forget what our normal lives are actually like. Yep. Like you're not like, even when they show you shit where like they make like an NFL rookie spend $55,000 on a dinner, and it's just like, yo, your NFL rookie year, you might make $600-700 grand depending on who you are. Spending $55,000 on that dinner is grounds for me whipping some ass in this Del Frisco's. Cause what the fuck did you order?
Either Miami Heat rookie and then Jimmy Butler fucking come to the table and order a $33,000 bottle of fucking of wine and shit.
Dog. So it's just like, yeah, like we just arbitrarily throw these numbers around and forget that these are big giant ass numbers.
And the other thing people not realizing is that the fucking split between rich and poor, it's a chasm now. Like, and then we're going to get to a point where the middle class is already completely marginalized. There is no more middle class. Like, it's either you fucking rich or you po. And it's like the more that poor people keep buying $2,550 Balenciaga parachute jabos, the poorer we're going to fucking be. Because niggas have this mentality like we live by rap music lyrics. Like niggas heard Day say, spend a check and get it right back, and live by that shit. Like that's not how money works. Like it's not like some transitive property shit where it's like you spend money and then money comes back to you. Like absolutely fucking not. I know niggas owe me about $15,000 right now, and me spending more money is not getting me my $15,000 right now.
You look at the watch shit where it's like, look at Yo Gotti where he was like, I could have bought the Bubba for less and I waited and had to spend more money to get it. And it's like, I know he took a loss on that because he bought it when it was high.
Exactly.
He bought it when it was damn near 6. I remember watching that.
Now it's back to deuce.
Now it's back to 2 and some change. And it's just like, yeah. But you look at it like, Yo Gotti got money back. Yo, he got Black Youngster. He got Glorilla.
Got 42 Dub.
He can take.
Got that. Big Boogie.
He can take that loss. You, on the other hand, when you go to get the date just as $9,000 and you spend 22 on it because you just hype. And then now that watch is back to I saw a beautiful 41 the other day, damn near new for fucking 11.7. I'm like, oh, it's over. For certain Jones, it's over. They damn near back to retail.
Yep.
You just can't get them because Rolex is.
By next summer, we're going to be back because there's too much of an initiative and there's so much contraction that took place in the watch retailers. Like a lot of shit went away. Like Sidney Thomas went away in Delaware.
It's somebody else that got away from
Tourneau got absorbed by Boucher or whatever the case may be. So it's like as we get to we're
it's something with a K.
Kering did away with all of their whole watch division.
I know, I wasn't tripping. I read that.
Kering sold off their watch division.
Right.
That's who owns Balenciaga and Gucci. Kering.
Right.
We don't even want to deal with this shit. You know why? Because niggas is buying
$2,500 Jabos.
That shit is a loss leader.
See how we uncovered it and came all the way back funny.
They don't even want to be bothered with that shit. Let these watchity watch niggas deal with that shit. We don't want nothing to do with this.
Watchity watch niggas is hilarious.
We don't even give a fuck. They sold off their whole shit.
But I definitely read that the Karen got away from watches completely.
And they have Zenith in their catalog, and Zenith is a phenomenal watch brand. And they like, we don't give a fuck. Like, we don't want to deal with it because you got to compete with Rolex, AP, and Patek for fucking the limited number of watchmakers that graduate from watchmaking school every year. Yeah. Who do you think they want to work for? Fucking Tag Heuer or fucking Rolex? Right. Like, it's very fucking simple. Yeah. So they just have a lot of, they just say, we don't even want to deal with it. Fuck it. We're out.
We're going to sell these big-ass Jabos. 2,600 a clip.
We're going to sell them big-ass Crocs, you know what I'm saying, with the metal on them. We're going to sell them, John. Yeah. We're going to sell them fucking bags that look like the $90 bags from the 90s for $3,000 with all the studs on them and shit.
Yo, fucking Gucci really put out Crocs, platform Crocs.
Yeah, Balenciaga did that dumb shit too.
No, but the Gucci don't actually look like Crocs. Like, they're literally platform. I've seen chicks wear them all over the place. Like, they got a cream pair, they got a black pair.
But y'all niggas like Crocs, $800 for the Crocs.
Remember last summer when Gucci released the platform flip-flop? Them hoes went crazy for them Jones. Like, straight up. And it's just like, damn. Like,
Gucci put out jellies this summer.
Yeah.
I'm going to punch one of you hoes in the ear. I see you rocking these $1,000
T.I. told
jellies.
y'all asses not to go in there for 30 days, and y'all 30 days was over, and y'all was... Yeah. Yeah. Straight up, man. What else you got over there?
Shit is rough, man. I got a TRP exclusive. I got a Drake album update. This doesn't come from any official news source. Just me reading the tea leaves. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Drake's album is not coming out till September, probably October.
Okay.
He's on tour right now, and I just found out that not only is Drake on tour, the whole OVO is on tour. 40 and Banks, which are the main producers that Drake is working with right now, they're on tour also doing the audio for the tour every night. So essentially, if he's got to finish this album up or, you know, go into mixing and mastering, whatever the fuck, he's going to go to 40 and Banks to do that. And he can't. You know why? Because they got to fucking orchestrate music for his show every fucking night. So it's a situation where the tour schedule is super jammed, and he's not going to have time in between to like fine tune these songs and get all of that stuff done. You know, you got sound check every night. You got hotel registration, overseeing this 6 to 8 truck operation. You got special guest appearances. Like I said, he just had J. Cole for 2 nights. He had Jason Tatum the other night in Boston.
Jason Tatum was rapping or something?
They just came on stage. And they lost their shit. And it's like, okay. Yeah. But yeah, you got special guest appearances, accommodations, and all of that shit. This album's not coming out no time soon. He told us the album was coming out soon because he was trying to sell that book.
You know what's crazy? You brought this up. I kind of want to stay on this for a little second. Okay. I want to see how you feel about this. So the other day, just arbitrarily, I was chilling in the dump truck. I was sitting on the site bullshitting, eating, and I was like thumbing through my Apple Music, right?
Yeah.
And you know how a song come on and you kind of like forget about it until it's on, and then you like really going down the song was Omerta from the Scary Hours 2. Or no, that wasn't on Scary Hours 2. That was on the joint with the championship on it.
Okay.
Dipset, Diplomatic Immunity, and Omerta, right? And do you remember Omerta good enough?
No.
Okay. This song, if I play the first couple seconds, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about.
Don't put it on the mic. I don't want us to get demonetized.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Great song.
Great song. That came on, and I'm listening to it, and the beginning. Look at my history. I'm trying to see what's different from that guy and that Rich and me. All I see is custom miles from Tiffany's and some gunners that'll hit you out of nowhere like Epiphany. And I'm like, that's a hard ass line. And then he keeps going and he says, Lord Piana and Brioni, the one and only, the champagne papa, the love doctor, your baby mother called me when she lonely, my tailor see me twice a week, he like my homie, forever grateful, forever thankful, diamond necklace, but she wears it on her ankle, this bitch is trendy. And I'm like, damn, that's good.
That's some good ass rap right there. Yeah, he pulled out the Smooth the Hustler and Trigger the Gambler flow in there.
Nigga, straight up. And I'm just listening to like his come off in there, and he gets to the point where he's like, I plan to buy your most personal possessions when they up for auction. Truth be told, I think about it often. The petty king, the overseer of many things. I wish that we was playing in a sport where we was getting rings. I wouldn't have space on either hand for anything. And I'm just like, yo, man.
This nigga bought all Pharrell shit. They ran that fucking auction. It was like 12 items.
I'm like, yo, this nigga really bought all Pharrell Jordan.
He popped up with 9 of them. It was like 12 items up for auction. He popped up with 9 of them in one video.
And wore them all.
And wore all at one time.
Dog. He got so many points in that song where he's just like, it's like it's him and Jay alone with that sneak dissing, talking about a lifestyle that no one else can really catch up to. And so I've listened to it. I play it back again. When I play it back again, I catch when he was like, that's how we continue down the path of Jordan and Jackson. That's some inside for y'all, even if no one's asking. Last year, niggas really feel like they rode on me. Last year, niggas got hot because they told on me. I'm calling the bluff of anybody that fold on me. And I'm buying the building of any door that was closed on me. I'm like, yo, man.
Good rapping ass
That's
Canadian.
a good rapping ass nigga. So I'm discussing it with my homie the other day, and I'm like, yo, Drake, look, I got Drake at number 7 all time.
I had him in the same number.
On my list, I got him at number 7. I got it Biggie, I got fucking...
Banks cursed me out for that. He said Drake at number 7 is crazy.
As far as should be higher or lower?
Should be higher.
So I got Biggie at 1, I got Nas at 2, I got Jay at 3, Pac at 4. That kind of goes back and forth because a lot of times I'll have Pac at 3, Jay at 4, Lil Wayne at 5. I got Ice Cube at 6. And I'm like, at this point, because of what you're saying, this is where I'm trying to bring it all home. Mm-hmm. Drake has literally been in the position that he's in since about 2013. Where he hit with Thank Me Later, right? And we agreed Thank Me Later just wasn't, it was a good introduction album, but it wasn't a great body of work. Yeah. It was him, like he even said it. It was me showing off that I know all these different people. Yeah. I know Jeezy, I know T.I., I know all these different
There's good songs on there, but it's not a cohesive project, and it's not nothing that we think about Drake. Like, we would jump over, if we going back, we would jump over that and go back to So Far Gone rather than go to Thank Me Later.
And you saw when he released the EP of all the old tracks, just how good that made you feel. When you
went number 1.
Yeah, when you think about like Girls Love Beyonce and
Jodeci Freestyle.
And what was the jump? I can't think of it right now offhand. It's like right there on my mind. The Aston Martin Freestyle and but you look at Take Care, and Take Care was the one where it was just like, oh, now this is an album. Mm-hmm. Like, this is something different. Yeah. The singing, the interludes, the way he was, just the come off in the songs with like Andre 3000 and Lil Wayne. It was just like, yo, this is really good. Nothing was the same hits. And it's just like, this nigga might be the best motherfucker out on the planet.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, not even just on some rap shit, on some music making. He might be the best nigga out here at the moment. Then the anticipation train kind of took off, where it was like, okay, you like Lil Wayne kind of went through it, Jay-Z went through it, Kanye went through it, where you do a couple albums and consider 1 or 2 of them a classic. Now the thought of you dropping means something to us.
Yeah.
We were anticipating views like a motherfucker, right? You had, if you reading this, it's too late. That kind of came out of nowhere. Yeah. But views was anticipated, and then it hit, and it did 1 million in a week. And it's like, you one of the only motherfuckers up there who done did that. Like, I saw the thing the other day with the top 9 first week albums of hip hop history. Eminem, 50.
Yeah.
Kanye, Wayne, Drake.
Snoop.
No, Snoop ain't even in the top 9 no more.
Oh, damn.
Because everything, Snoop Doggy Style did 832,000. Number 9 on the list did 864.
Oh, damn.
So I'm like, damn, yeah, Snoop's not even in the top 9 no more. But views hit, and it did 987,000 in a week, which is essentially 1 million. And we anticipated Scorpion, the double disc.
Yeah.
And Drake has gotten to the point now where it's kind of him and Jay, where like, I got this collection of my bodies of work, and then when I feel like it, I go do albums with my peoples that I fuck with.
Yeah.
So Jay got an album with R. Kelly. He got 2 with R. Kelly. Yeah. He got an album with Kanye. You know what I'm saying? He got the rock album with everybody.
He got the Streets is Watching.
Got Streets is Watching. And Drake is in that same boat where it's like, I go do an album with Future. I go do an album with 21 Savage.
Yeah.
He can go do an album with the Migos. Like, he can do what he wants. But then when it's time for him to drop, like Drake right now has the most anticipated album in rap.
Easily.
He's been the man in rap for 10 years. And I'm like, that alone, to me, like, we've never seen it.
Yeah.
Not from Ice Cube. We low-key ain't even seen it from Wayne. I personally respect Wayne in a different light because I know Wayne is the catalyst for all of this
Exactly.
shit. So I'm probably never going to take Drake over Wayne because Drake don't get there without the Wayne stamp.
Yeah.
But Drake is at a point now where it's like, yo, for you to be 10 years in rap, where we know how rap changes, we watch how rap can take you, spit you back out with nothing at the end.
And people get to a point where they start anticipating your fall off.
Exactly.
And the narratives start getting created.
Charlemagne asked the question, is the Drake era over 5 years ago?
Because Lil Baby was having a hot moment, and he started, and niggas in the media started getting weird, and Charlemagne and Wayno and all that, and they was overly hedging their bets, and then now Drake is fucking selling out everywhere on the planet, and Lil Baby is canceling shows.
Yo, and let's be frank here, Lil Baby blew up. Why?
Because of Drake.
Feature. Like, it's just what it is. So I'm looking at it the other day, and I was telling him, he was like, yo, like, low key is getting to that point where, like, Drake might be in the top 5. He got for what it's worth, Drake got everything that you could, like, want out of a rapper.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's not a rapper, he's the singer. Think about how crazy this is. Out of all them people that I just named in my top 5, or top 10 rather, right, that's above him, Ice Cube, Lil Wayne, Tupac, Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie. A couple of them don't even have, like, a classic diss record. Drake even got that. Yeah. Like, I got a classic diss track.
A Grammy-nominated diss track. A billion-stream diss track. Probably 5 billion streams by now.
Like, when you really, really sit back and look at it, it's like, Drake got 4 p.m. in Calabasas, where it's like, I'm rapping out of this world. Like, just no one can catch this. Yeah. You look at the new album that he did with 21, Her Lost. Him on Middle of the Ocean is better than everybody that was rapping last year.
Yeah, definitely.
Straight up.
Definitely. Like,
if she want to rebound with me, I'm down to get her some boards. I'm here for the moral support. Whipping the Vespa for 6 tequilas. Big Benjamin is like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Drake, you got it. Robert Kraft sent a jet for me. That shit was patriotic.
It's like, all right, let me cut this off.
Hey, man, what the fuck is going on? Like, and for him to just have the reign that he's had 10 years in.
And he is one of the only people to successfully beat ghostwriting allegations.
Crazy,
That
right?
shit used to be a scarlet letter in hip-hop. That shit get you exited out the game expeditiously. Oh. He got it to where he got the narrative changed for everybody else. Mm-hmm. Where people in the media, like academics, are openly saying, I don't give a fuck who wrote it. I'm here for the hits. Oh. I'm here for the bars and the chatting. Like, I don't give a fuck who wrote this.
That nigga said this for them boys who think that your boy don't write enough. They just mad because your boy got the Midas touch. Like, he's jumped over everything. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, for him to be essentially 12 to 13 years in, but 10 years solidly at the top of this shit.
Like, unquestionably at the top.
Like, unquestionably at the top, to the point where here we are in 2023, and nobody has gone number 1 this year outside of Uzi. It's going to be Drake that's going to be the biggest album of the year again.
Yeah.
And in a place where you might be worth $600-700 million, like, literally, I went and looked it up. I'm like, oh no, Chaz not bullshitting. Calipari got the whole Kentucky team at Drake crib.
At his house.
Like, at this nigga house practicing and balling. Yeah, we got these pro-ams in Canada. Can we use the crib? Drake, like, yeah, I'm on tour. Just come to the house. Like, the Toronto Raptors practice in the OVO facility. How crazy is it that it's like, I got the Raptors practicing at my facility and the Kentucky Wildcats practicing at my crib.
The number 1 feeder system for pro basketball in the world is at my crib.
I'm on a 767 flying from state to state. I got a contract where Lucien Grange, who is the head of fucking
Universal
Music Group is like
the whole thing, not America.
No.
The whole shit.
Lucian is like, yo, real shit, Drake gets whatever he wants.
Drake doesn't have a budget.
To the point where, again, middle of the ocean, this nigga's on a song talking about treat me like a newborn baby, Lucian not dropping me. Yo, and remember at first they were projecting that his initial deal that he re-upped for was $365 million. That's what it was. Did you people on Lemon Pepper Freestyle? He was like,
360 off top,
360
full circle.
Because remember the whole thing was that he was in a 360 deal.
Yeah.
And he's like,
that was Pusha T's original angle.
Dog.
You signed to one nigga who signed to another nigga who signed to three niggas. Now that's bad luck. Like that was the original angle. And even still, through that bad deal, he still out-earned everybody that wasn't like Jay-Z or Kanye.
Dog. He said, my heart just turned purple. 360 up front, it all comes full circle. Class photograph, Sandy had me on my Urkel. You know Steve Urkel sells the purple weed now.
Yeah.
That no one caught
Purple Urkel.
Purple Urkel.
And Drake
Drake
had the glasses on, so that's a double entendre.
My heart just turned purple. 360 up front, it all comes full circle. Class photograph, Sandy had me on my Urkel. That nigga's a machine, man. He's a fucking machine.
And the pace of how much music he's dropping and covering different genres and all of that shit is a whole nother thing.
Hey, yo, that's like a quadruple entendre. Because 360 is a circle.
Yeah, 360 degrees.
Yeah. 360 up front. I was in a 360 deal. Now I get 360 mil up front. It all comes full circle. Yo,
he's undisputedly the best right now.
It's not even close.
If J. Cole takes a shower, though, we're gonna have something to talk about.
Here's my thing with J. Cole and Kendrick. And it's funny you say this because me and Jules kind of went down this the other day where we were talking about like, because I was personally like, Jay-Z is, to me, he's the greatest figure to come from rap.
Yeah, he's the embodiment of a success story from rap.
Even though I personally think Nas is a better lyricist, I think Jay-Z's a better rapper. And here's what I mean when I say that. Rap is so multi-layered. And I look at Drake the same way I look at Jay.
You gotta check a lot of boxes.
Where it's like, Kendrick Lamar is probably a better lyricist.
Yeah, he won a Pulitzer.
Like he's probably a better writer than everybody.
Yeah.
But Kendrick Lamar makes the pill so undigestible at times.
It's a horse pill.
It's a horse tranquilizer to the point where women and people who are going out to have a fun time tonight don't want to hear this shit.
Cut that shit off.
They'll turn this depressing shit off.
You are scaring us.
You are scaring
We
us.
are afraid.
Fuck the hoes. I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm
a grown man. I'm 40 and I'm scared. Cut this shit off.
Turn this shit off. And I look at it like Drake is the embodiment of being able to put the medicine in the candy all the fucking time. Yeah. Jay-Z was the same exact way where he knew to get on a track and not start talking about the project bench in this joint. He knew to get on a track and say, you know, now we dip in the west side, hand up a left side. Like he just knew how to do it.
Yeah.
And Drake's the same exact way. So I'm thinking about the other day, like, yo, I think Drake at 7 might be too low.
Nah, at this juncture, it is too low. And I don't think it's contingent upon anything because he's routinely shown he can just come out and drop either a slow cooker or something that's blatantly the best album of the year on command. Like last year was another, like it was like an up and down year for music. Like Lil Baby took forever to come out, then he dropped some mid. Dirk had the best album of the year pretty much all year. NBA Youngboy put out 42 albums last year. Gunna album was amazing starting off the top of the year. Then them niggas got wrapped up and locked the fuck up and all that. Future had a good album. Pusha T had a good album. But it wasn't like the volume of like a ton of like great albums out there. And then Drake in 21 came out with Her Loss. And I'm like, this is the best album of the year.
Nigga, I've been going, I for some reason, just the last couple weeks, I've been listening to Her Loss a lot. And I'm like, yo, Broke Boys and Spin About You. And at this point, I'm convinced the best song on Her Loss is Hours in Silence. That record is just phenomenal. It's just a phenomenally good song. And he has that where like that's a Drake album. I got these songs where I'm super rapping like Middle of the Ocean. Then I got a song where Rich Flex where that nigga flipped the 24's flow so good to where it's like And T.I. ain't ride that beat that good. Like, he had that. Then he had those records where he's doing the long, drawn-out breakdowns where he's almost like scatting like he's in a jazz club and shit like. And I personally I've never seen in rap music or I'm going to be frank, any music where somebody just sits at the top for 10 years and the anticipation and the vibes is the exact same as they was 10 years ago. Yeah. The only other person I can think about is Michael Jackson. Mike dropped Thriller in 83. And in 1992, 1993, Mike was still shutting the world down because Jam was the biggest shit out. And then when he did Black and White, that video changed music videos forever. Yeah, so it's like he's the only person I can think of where he had a 10-year situation and Mike changed his skin color, his hair, all of that shit. Yeah. Outside of him,
picked up some kids, some white children, randomly.
Outside of him, I'm just keeping it a buck. Like Janet Jackson in 88, 89 was huge. In 99, it wasn't the same vibe. Yeah. It just wasn't. Jay-Z was gigantic in 2001. In 2011, it was not the same vibe. He had retired and all kinds of shit.
That's true.
Beyonce at the top of her shit with, whether you want to say Sasha Fierce or B-Day, that was like
2004.
No, Dangerously in Love was like 03.
B-Day was the second album.
Yeah, Sasha Fierce was like 07.
Yeah, but I think B-Day was 04.
Yeah, but I think Sasha Fierce was like all the single ladies. Yeah, that was where she reached like the.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
And I'm keeping it a buck. I don't think she's musically at where she was at.
I think she's intentionally making different kind of music, though.
I can give you that.
I think Beyonce is at a point where, like, she recognizes, like we said on the Patreon, she looked out and saw who was in the audience and made music to cater to that audience. And it alienated a certain section of her audience, like the straight black men that was in the audience that fucking Me, Myself, and I is our favorite song of all time. She's not catering to us no more.
But I look at Lil Wayne with the Carter 3 in 02. He's the biggest nigga on the planet, million in a week. Carter 4 comes out, million in a week. I did that shit twice. But the anticipation isn't there or hasn't
any
been
album
there.
that doesn't have a Carter, he almost cursed himself where it's like any album that doesn't have the Carter whatever the fuck on there is not gonna broach a certain level, because like you look at all the albums in between, fucking I Am Not a Human Being, I Am Not a Human Being 2, the Free Weezy album, the joint with 2, Collie Grove 2, all this shit, and then he comes out with Carter 5, 522,000. Right. And it's just like, because we know what goes into one of these. Right. So even when it's an album full of 8 year ago throwaways, we know it's still good, and it was great.
Straight up. But yeah, that Omerta track, I don't know why it just hit me the other day. I'm just listening to it.
Great fucking song.
I'm just listening to the way he's talking in this John. I'm just like, yo, this is like one of the most disrespectful.
And that was what, 3-4 years ago, right? Yeah. That came out with guys playing. Or it was a Diplomatic. It was a
2-part. It was that and Diplomatic Immunity 2.
I thought Diplomatic Immunity was going to do more than what it did.
Yeah. But that Omerta John, it was just high levels of just asshole talking on that
assholery.
Just super assholery on that record, man, straight up. And I enjoy that type of rap, but yeah, that was my joint. I just had that thought, and I wound up getting in the discussion the other day about it. Like, should Drake be higher than number 7?
No, I think at this point, I mean, and it's only been a few months since I had put that list out, probably about 5 or 6 months. He's higher than number 7 for sure. And
did you see the whole Yayo situation with FN?
Here's the problem with Tony Yayo. The problem with Tony Yayo is he's playing a role, and he goes into these interviews knowing that at some point people want him to turn up, and it's almost like you're watching it and anticipating like, when is it going to happen? Because he did the same shit in the Math Hoffa interview, which is the one that blew him up and got him into all of these places and spaces where him and Boosie are the highest in-demand interviews in and around hip-hop. So he's playing a role to a certain degree where certain shit he's going to ham it up and get overly aggressive and become like G-Unit Tony Yayo for the sake of the viral moment or whatever. And it's like, because it's disingenuous, I can't really respect it. And there's something to be said for the fact that, like, this present debate culture that we exist in, everybody's being disingenuous with their arguments. They're not trying to honestly understand the other side. It's just like what Yayo did. So you telling me, nigga, fuck out of here. Like, it's just that shit. It's very dismissive. And it's like, we're not debating with the hopes of trying to even convince the other side. I feel this way, fuck you. Yeah. And that's how most of these debates are taking place.
I will say, I agree with what he was saying. I personally believe Biggie's the best rapper ever.
I do too.
That's just my personal feeling. I don't know if that's right or wrong. When I look at what a rapper is, when I talk about flow, wordplay, cadence, voice, all of that shit,
there's storytelling.
There's none of these motherfuckers better than Biggie. And again, I personally think that the best doesn't necessarily mean the GOAT.
Right.
I've said that before. I think Jordan is the GOAT, but I think LeBron's better. Yeah. That's just how I feel. I think Jay-Z at this point has done enough to be the GOAT. I don't think he's better than Biggie. At times, I don't think he's better than Nas. That's my personal feeling.
Yeah.
When I look at Biggie, especially when we get to the story shit, you can go down the, like, even with Ice Cube, and you get the songs like Black Korea and all, like, Ice Cube got tons of stories. Boys in the Hood is a fucking story. Yeah. Biggie's stories that he's remembered for, I got a story to tell, and Niggas Bleed in particular, they're like almost like the hierarchy. Yeah,
it's like a Francis Ford Coppola movie.
It's
cinematic.
Exactly. And it's like the way Biggie did I Got a Story to Tell was like, that shit was a fucking play. Mm-hmm. That shit was like Othello. Yeah. Like, wait, what? It was just geniusly perfect. Yeah. And Biggie was so good at rapping. Again, this is where Biggie knew how to, like, he knows that in that song, he can't say she push a 500 Benz because it's not gonna go with the flow. Right. But for him to say she push a double O with the 5 in front,
probably a conniving stunt. Y'all drive in front. I'm a fill with her.
Like, excuse me?
Yeah. He was a magician.
That nigga straight said, I'm trying to hit it and she tripping, disappearing like Arsenio. Yo, the bitch pushing double O with the 5 in front. Like, he was that good. I'd say when he rapped Garbage with Doorknob, only him would have enough wherewithal to say, unless it smelled like garbage, I turn like doorknobs. Heart throb, never. I'm black and ugly as ever.
However.
Get all of these niggas the fuck out of here. My homie was like, so you really don't think Jay better than Big? I'm like, no, not even close. And he like, how? And I'm like, you're looking at God did Jay-Z.
Right.
And that's cool. God did Jay-Z. Jay-Z 63. I get it. He made it to senior. This is how he raps. Imagine if Biggie would have got to see 60. Biggie was rapping like a mafia don when he was 24.
Yeah.
He was like, so you think Big rap better than Jay? I asked him, I'm like, who had the better verse on I Love the Dough? He's like, oh no, Big got him on that. I'm like, who got who on Brooklyn's Finest? He was like, Big got him on that. I'm like, so if Big out-rapped the man
in real time
on songs that they rap on, how are we even arguing? How is this a debate? So then my other homie was like, Jay got Big on Brooklyn's Finest. And I'm like, Brooklyn's Finest 1 or Brooklyn's Finest 2? And he was like, there's a part 2. I'm like, there has to be. Because you just told me Jay got the man on Brooklyn's Finest. And I'm like, the one I heard, he was like, no, Jay was talking that shit. I'm like, he was. And that's what people forget.
Enough,
when we talk about the goats are going to ball regardless.
Yeah.
Jay going to show up and always be Jay. But when Jay shows up and says, peep the style and the way the cops sweat us, their number one question is, can the feds get us? I got vendettas and dice games against ass betters and niggas who pump wheels and drive Jettas. And Biggie comes on and says, take that with ya, rip ya back, split ya, fuck fist fights and lame scuffles, a pillowcase to the face, make the shell muffle. I'll shoot your daughter in the calf muscle, fuck a tussle. Nickel plated. Then I'll sprinkle coke on the floor and I'll make this shit drug related.
Most hated.
Can't fade it, nigga. It's over. It just is.
Man, gotta had the 2 spots, the $5 hits.
The blue tops.
Gotta go Coolio.
I mean, it's getting too hot. If Faith had twins, she probably had 2 pops.
Just that alone.
Get it?
Cut the song.
Yeah, cut the song off.
Cut the song off.
Dog.
cut the song off.
And then even on songs where it's closer, like Young G's, where Jay is phenomenal, then Big come on there on the slow flow. Damn, it feel good to see people up on it. Flip 3 keys in 3 weeks and getting flowing. My brain is haunted with mean dreams, GS's with BBs on it. Supreme schemes to get richer than Richie quickly. Niggas try to stick me if they hit me. Just my body and Leonard's by Armani. Check it. My lyrical carjack, make your brain splat. High caliber.
See, Jay ain't had a swag yet.
It's not even that he didn't.
But Big had the pockets. He give you different styles. Different flows.
You never knew what was coming next.
It was so unpredictable. Yeah. The cadence, just the way he was. That nigga legitimately was doing shit like, most rappers rap in metaphors. Yeah. I do this like that.
Right.
That's the Cassidy. I'ma heat you like a fajita, nigga. Like that's the way rappers rap. They tell you what they do like so and so. Right. I'ma hit you like Barry Bonds with the. That's the way it go. Big was like one of them first niggas where he came along and he was rapping in like similes. Where Big would say shit like, "What you told? More guns than roses."
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Not from Houston, but I rap a lot.
Yeah, there's no liking.
You see what I'm saying? It's just all of them Jones where it's like you kind of gotta catch the line, and by the time you catch it, I done switched the flow and I'm going this way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Big was he was an anomaly. Yo.
Push said when he was working with Puff, when Puff executive produced one of them albums or whatever, and he was like, he was doing his pushing shit. Mm-hmm. I do this like this and and the coke so white, and Puff like out in the control room like, stop. That ain't it, Playboy. Yeah. He was like, I could see that shit coming a mile away. That ain't it, man. You talking this God level flow shit and all that. Think what would Big do? You can't come with that same ABCD shit talking about you the best rapper, Playboy. You gotta step it the fuck up. Like where's the element of surprise? Like you gotta get in them pockets.
Man, like on the scene, had me like Sam Rothstein. Guess you ginger, go figure.
Duh.
Never thought you to be a gold digger.
Take my dough and spend it with the next nigga.
It's like, damn, he just put the whole fucking movie in the motherfucking rhyme. He just be like, shit.
And that's another one that Jay was really good at that, using like movies as his, I should crack your motherfucking forehead. Like Jay was real good at that. Even down to like the joint from what's the song he did with Pharrell on Black Album? We always talk about his best record.
Oh Lord.
I know how this movie goes, but still I play a starting role in Jovito's way. That's Carlito's way. Like Jay was very, very good at those. But Biggie was just like, Jesus, the notorious just, please us with your lyrical thesis. We just chillin', milking, top billin', silkin', pure linen, me and little C's. Malibu sea breeze, dawn peas, palm trees, cats named Pablo, milked out Diablos, the williest. The bitches be the silliest. The more I smoke, the smaller the Philly gets. Room 112, that's where the players dwell.
That's still a thing.
We stash more cash than Bernardell. That was the lawyer boy who was
the accountant boy.
Yeah, that was Burt Patel. Like Biggie was retarded, man. He really, really was
in hell. Make you feel good like Tony.
Dig up in your
middle like Moni.
Yes.
You don't know me, but you setting up to blow me.
Yes.
Plotting all trying to slide with the homie.
Yes.
And it ain't just Jay. He did it to everybody.
He did it to everybody.
Everybody.
You'll see.
Everybody.
Like Kiss Styles, even Sheik came with the greatest bars.
Then he came on and dissed them.
Came on and dissed them and smoked them.
Every time Biggie rapped, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. The one time where I thought the rapper that Biggie was with, where they were like on the same caliber and it was like it was close, was when he rapped with Meth.
The what? Yeah,
the what? That was the only joint where
that's a 50-50s joint.
Where I thought it might have been
that's
a 50-50.
But see, Meth is one of them freestylers where the back and forth shit is the shit.
Right.
So it's like he the only one that understands that shit where I gotta pick up where Big left off or I'm gonna get left.
Right.
But it's like when you see Big on Benjamin's, it's not close.
Yeah, it's not.
When you see Big on in it, Victory, all the Funk Flex freestyle, it's just not close. And I was telling my homie, I'm like, dog, a lot of people think Victory is Biggie's best verse. A lot of people think that. Victory was the last verse he did before he died. which shows that for all the crazy shit Big did, rapping in the Bone Thugs and Harmony, cadence, and all these different things, he was still evolving.
He was still
and
ascending.
People forget that Biggie was 24. Like when he did I Love the Dough and Miss You and all these records, he was 23 because he turned 24 a month before. Like he was a 20, and you think about being around 23-year-olds and 20, I'm not an OG. Like they're annoying as shit. Biggie was 24 and was rapping like he was a 45-year-old man. So imagine him getting to the place of making a couple $100 million and actually living to see his Diamond album and actually living to set up the commission and all these different things. Ain't no telling where that nigga would have went, man.
That's how I thought Beans was going to be, because they came up like the same way.
Yeah.
Big on the Heavy D joint, big on the Super Cat joint, big with the party and bullshit on the Who's the Man joint.
Yeah.
And that's how Beans came up, on the Roots joint, the Cosmic Kev joint, and then...
I say it all the
shit
time,
just
to
went
me,
left
Beans embodies a lot of
they come,
Biggie.
it's like the same.
He has the same cadence.
Yeah.
You listen to a lot of his songs, you could tell he was heavily influenced
Couple
by
references,
Biggie.
yeah.
You know, what'd he say on the Funk Flex joint? I was Biggie Smalls and Tupac out, hating. You know what I'm saying? Because you couldn't ball like the lockout. Mom took my keys. I didn't care if I was locked out. Like, that's real. Yeah. So I just, Biggie to me just...
He's in the level of the song.
He's somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know when I knew Big Undisputed was the greatest rapper I ever heard? When I heard the fucking Queen Bee reference track and it was him rapping the shit, and I'm just like, all right, man. Like,
I keep it a buck with you. Notorious Thugs was the moment for me as a kid because I remember when I was young, me and shout out Idris. I don't know where Idris is at. We were the only motherfuckers that could recite Bone Thugs and Harmony raps. Yeah. I'm not joking with you. Like on my block, next block over, I knew all of that shit. First of the Month, Thuggish Ruggish Bone, Crossroad. We knew all of that shit. And I remember like Life After Death. Like you remember the double disc, what it felt like with the black shit on the top. Like I remember holding the motherfucker. And I remember cutting it on the second disc because it's the first record. Hearing Notorious Thugs and you just like, it's Bone and Biggie, we gonna ride the party. And you just like, I know they not.
I know this fat nigga not popular.
Because the one issue niggas had with Biggie was he rapped too slow at times. The slow flow, remarkable. That was his joint. To hear the slow flow rapper jump on the fast rapping niggas song and rap in their cadence and rap better than them was like,
damn.
You know I'm just doing this. Because I like doing it. Yeah. I can rap fast, you idiots.
And then he took it.
The Boston Avenue on Elm Street, you fucking jackal. Like, you fucking jackal. I can rap better than everybody.
Yeah, you want me to give you some of that shit? I'm going to give it to you. Got the joint with Too Short. I'm going to give you some of that
dog,
shit.
They turned Biggie saying Armed and Dangerous, ain't too many that can bang with us into a song.
Yes.
Like, that Biggie isn't, you.
Man, Big say some shit. What did he say on the joint with Short?
On Players?
Yeah, what did he say? Ain't no lie, pimped out of SSI.
SSI.
Nigga, don't ask why.
Don't ask why, just respect it. Just respect it.
I mean, the necklace, the bracelet, the crib, she laced it.
The crib, she laced it. Benz, I got it. Interior decorated. Pimped out her SSI. Don't ask why, just respect it.
You respect the shit, nigga.
Dog.
No motherfucking questions.
Dog, that's the way that's the way like.
That's how I always talk to you. Don't worry about it, young boy.
Remember Futch from State Property? Yeah. That's some shit Futch would have said.
You want to holler at me? Get out the car and talk to me like a fucking man. Eating a glizzy.
At 23, though.
At 23 years old, that's how the nigga was rapping. You absolutely right. Pimped out her SSI. Don't ask why, just respect it. The fucking Benzo, the bracelet, the cribbo, she laced it. That's real shit, dog. That's hilarious. But yeah, he just, and you see the growth. And that a lot of rappers, when we look at the people like Lil Wayne or Drake or shit, Jay-Z. A lot of people think Reasonable Doubt. I personally think Jay got better. I think Black Album was like his best body of putting together work for a meaning, for a purpose of an overarching title. You know what I'm saying? But even with Reasonable Doubt, you look at the volumes. That's a whole thing. Mm-hmm. There just aren't many rappers who get better. Let's be real. In this last 15 years, you can count on two hands the amount of rappers who put out better work after their initial work. Future,
Pusha,
Push, Rick Ross.
Jeezy got precipitously worse.
I think the recession is a I like recession, but what it means to hip hop, it don't mean as much as TM 101.
Even still though,
I'll give you that.
My favorite is on Trap It Out too.
But I'm still looking at
The
that
mixtape.
But I'm looking at that as a part of when I say got better or got worse, past your initial run.
Right.
Like in a 3 to 5 year vacuum. What did you do? That's what your run, and then what happens outside of that.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't necessarily think Jeezy's rapping or his ability to make music got any more like meaningful. I think that Obama won the fucking presidency, so my president is black, catapulted him to somewhere else.
Yeah.
But TM 101 and You Can't Ban the Snowman, that can't even compare the rest of Jeezy's career to that. So, you know, it's very few people who like get exceptionally better.
Wayne got better.
Drake got better. When you look at Biggie Smalls, where out the gate, like my first rap album straight realigned hip hop.
Yeah, it shook shit up.
It straight, like, cause Ice Cube, NWA, to come off of the Death Row and the Snoop Dogg, and West Coast was on a run like that just was out of this world. New York niggas was just standing around with their gold ropes and they Dapper Dan jackets trying to figure it the fuck out. And Biggie showed up, and that album is like, whoa. Biggie had perfect records. We had never heard that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where like Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre kind of invented the perfect West Coast record. Because even when you look at like Straight Outta Compton or Boys in the Hood, they're not perfect records.
You still hear the distortion and the feedback and all because they're working with limited resources.
Nothing But a G thing is perfect. That's a perfect
That song played on pop radio.
Dog.
Niggas for Life album is perfect.
Like Snoop and Drake, Gin and Juice is a perfect record. It's perfect for everything. Biggie was the first person to come along and give us some shit like Juicy, where it was like, this is a perfect record.
Yeah, a conceptual record that's perfectly executed. Everything is tied in. It's rhythmic. It's melodic. All of that shit.
I Love Big Papa is a perfect record. The One More Chance remix is perfect. And it was just like, yo, this nigga got a lot of this. Then you get into the album and you hear songs like Give Me the Loot, The Warning,
Machine Gun.
The what? And it's just like, what the fuck? Yeah. And Biggie's Ready to Die, the child on the album cover, it just, think about how that's blown off into something else now. Like, Biggie just kind of set hip-hop up for like what it was gonna be with Ready to Die. And for the most part, somebody drop a seminal classic like that, it's normally downhill. For you to come back and your next album be a double disc that goes diamond, and the quintessential average rap fan is like, that album is pretty much better than everything we've ever heard. And you can't compare him to nothing.
And better by a wide margin.
By a wide margin.
Yeah, that's
wide margin.
There's nobody to compare him to.
Because as great, and I'm not even a Tupac fan, but I appreciate the Death Row Tupac in a vacuum of All Eyes on Me and Machiavelli. Those are two of the greatest albums in rap history. They still aren't nowhere near approaching Life After Death.
Like I'm pretty confident in saying that I don't think there's a rap album even close to Life After Death.
No. It's a wide margin.
I think there are rap
Reasonable
albums.
Doubt is nowhere near as good as Life After Death.
No.
Illmatic is the only one.
I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you on some shit.
Illmatic is the only one. And it took me 20 years to land here to appreciate Illmatic for what the fuck it is.
Y'all might get mad at me for saying this. I know there are probably people that's gonna agree. I think Kanye's Dark Twisted Fantasy can enter the realm of like, because it basically is just so off the beaten path.
The Sonics are.
That's more so when I look at Volume 2, it's a better Volume 1. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not as
he fixed all his mistakes
from Volume 1. And like when I look at the Carter 2, it's a better Carter 1. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of rap albums that are very good. There are a lot of rap albums that are great. I think Doggy Style is great. I think Chronic is great. I think Get Rich or Die Trying is great. I think Stankonia is great. I think TM 101 is great.
Yeah.
Dark Twisted Fantasy is like, again, you almost can't compare. Like, even with Kanye having the College Dropout and Late Registration and all these great albums, you can't compare Dark Twisted Fantasy to any of them. So I look at that almost in the same light as like a Life After Death, where it's like, it's one of those we can't rank it albums.
Yeah.
And that's what you gotta be to get up to that.
Here's my only qualm with Dark Twisted Fantasy, because it is perfect. But because of Good Fridays and the fact that so many of those songs that ended up on the album that were rough cuts, but they ended up, we added this or took away that, whatever, landed on was on Good Fridays and then landed on that album, it ruined it for me, because I was like, damn, I heard, if it's 20 songs, I heard 10 of these. So that, even though they're amazing fucking songs, but it's still kind of like, it makes me forgetful of that album when I'm ranking. Like,
oh yeah, nah, I got.
I was mad Christian Dior flow wasn't on there.
Yeah,
that was my favorite song out of the Good Fridays.
My favorite joint was New God flow. That was my shit. But like, Dark Twisted Fantasy for me is just such a better album than everything that came out around that time. Yeah. And it's the same way I look at A Life After Death. Like, me personally, I think Machiavelli is better than All Eyes on Me.
It is.
Yeah, some people don't think that. I do. I think.
I never gave neither one of you.
Dan's like,
whatever this,
I wouldn't know. Whatever y'all say.
Whatever you say, big man. There are a lot of people who think Life After Death, It Was Written is better than Illmatic.
I'm one of them.
I don't think
I was one of them and I changed back.
No, Illmatic is great for but what it is with Illmatic, I was book bag when Illmatic came out. When It Was Written came out, I was in the streets. So like it still got a hold on me. That's when I first started getting money. So I got a bigger attachment to it.
I understand
Illmatic. But when Illmatic first dropped, that's the shit that I was into, and I was like, you didn't tell me nothing about that album.
Yeah, I think everybody is different and everybody has their opinions and this and the third. But my thing with especially this rap shit is like, at a certain point, the main thing is the main thing.
For sure.
Like you always say. And when we talk about rapping, like at the end all be all, what you wear and all of this shit, a lot of these motherfuckers are like predicated on somebody else's success or somebody else's shoulders.
For sure.
Like they hang on
They standing on the shoulders of giants.
They standing on the shoulders of other people. And I look at Biggie as one of them people where every single thing he did was uniquely him. The Kangol, the Coogee sweater, the 2 Jesus pieces. He turned getting into a car accident and rupturing his fucking tibia into an aesthetic. Big Papa with the cane. Like that added to his Mafia Don persona. That's a real leg injury he had. Yeah. That's how good Biggie was.
And he rapped about it.
I used to be strong as Ripple B.
I used to be strong as Ripple B till C's crippled me. Now I
play hard like my girl Nipples be. The game sour like a pickle be. You know the rules, move from BK
to New Jerusalem.
Think about all the planes we flew,
bitches we ran through.
Now my year's new, I want my spot back.
Niggas top that, take 2.
Motherfuckers mad cause I blew, niggas envious. So many niggas on my dick.
Shit strenuous.
When my men bust, you just move with
like
such stamina.
Slug mission.
I ain't mad at you.
We ain't mad at you. We ain't mad at you.
Blood rushing, concussions ain't nothing. Catch cases, come on stunting, smoking something.
Sipping White Russian, bitch in the Benz pumping. That was, Big was crazy, man. Crazy. I say it all the time. When I heard that John, when he said, this goes out to cats, fingers in their ass again. $50,
half a man.
Daydreaming. Fuck around, get wet like semen. Your whole teaming. Be more going than Freeman. I took the creaming.
Then he switches it. Move to new places. Screw faces. Fuck the screw faces. Because when I shoot, make the papers. Good fellas. Niggas can't bang with us.
Dog, Big was he was phenomenal, man.
My nigga gotta fucking kidnap kids, fuck them in their ass, throw them over the bridge.
Throw them over the bridge, like
that's how it is.
That's how it is. Big was.
That shit is laid out. Fuck that beef shit.
Yeah.
That shit is played out. Y'all got the gall. All I make is one phone call. All of y'all disappear by tomorrow. All your guns is borrowed. Yeah. I don't feel sorrow. Actually, your man passed the gap to me. Yeah. Now let's see.
And that's kind of where Yayo was getting with the whole Ice Cube Biggie joint. Was like, he was able to paint like, not trying to be funny. I've listened to niggas bleed so much in my life, I feel like I watched it.
Yeah.
As opposed
there
to
is no video.
There's no video for it. But you feel like you've watched it.
Because you can close your eyes and have your own fucking movie of it.
I've had dreams about
like,
that.
Here's how crazy. If you take us, just take 5 people who extensively know niggas bleed and be like, write it out as like a short film, and you got the ability to direct it and put life to it with color and all of that shit. I almost feel like motherfuckers would have it done the same way.
There would be severe overlap. There would be 80% overlap.
But that's what I thought Irv Gotti shit was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like, take the lyrics of the song and make it match up.
But
like,
Irv is so creative, he intentionally did some other shit, and it's just like, and landed on what the fuck is this?
I ain't gonna hold you. Because I know this is gonna go out and it's gonna get heard. I had the idea. It's funny. I swear to you, I had the idea for what Tales became. I said this years ago. You know what would be a cool concept for a television show? Basically creating a music video in a 30-minute slot. Yeah. So basically, this was my idea. Take a song like Niggas Bleed. Basically, you act out the whole Niggas Bleed, and then you're like, at the end of it, it plays as the video. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, you know, how did it start? Today's agenda. I got the suitcase. I've been to Centra. Go to room 112 and tell them Blanco sent you. You feel the strangest if no money exchange. Like, you're acting it all out. Somebody pulling up in a Nissan Sentra, going to the hotel room. Like, and then at the end, you actually play the song over it as the music video. That was a concept I had.
That's what I thought the concept was.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I thought it was. And that shit was just, it was off.
He said enough to cop a 6 and buy the house on the beach. Supply the peeps with Jeeps. A brick a piece, capiche. Everybody getting cream, no one considered a leech. Think about it now, that's damn near 1.5. I kill them all, I'll be set for life. Frank, pay attention. These motherfuckers is henchmen.
Renegades.
If you die, they still get paid. Extra probably. Fuck a robbery.
I'm the boss. Promise you won't rob them. I promise, but of course, you know I have my fingers crossed.
If you die, they still get paid. Yeah. Extra probably.
Fuck a robbery.
Fuck a robbery.
And then he come and let you know when you want to be the shit. You can be the shit. Flash the fattest 5. Have the biggest dick. But when your shell get hit,
you ain't shit. You just a memory. Remember he used to push the champagne rain. Silly cat. He
wore suede in the rain. Swore he put the G in game.
Had the Gucci frame before day to day. I think he ran with Kane. I can't recall his name. Oh, you mean that cat that nearly lost half his brain over 2 bricks of cocaine, getting his dick sucked by crackhead Lorraine. A fucking lame. A fucking shame. Deuce a lame.
What's his name?
Dark Skin Jermaine.
See what I mean?
See what I mean?
They set that whole shit up just for you to be like, see?
Yeah.
You don't even remember that.
And that's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the God's honest truth. You're nobody till somebody kill you. Them last 3 records, my downfall, that whole run is just
disrespectful.
It's disrespectful. He said, "I climbed the ladder to success. I climbed the ladder to success, escalator style." And as a young man, I don't know why, just the image of Biggie on an escalator, just going up. I climbed the ladder to success, escalator style. Nobody was rapping like that.
What you call it? Drop. What was the single? Were they on the yacht? The joint they spent all that money on?
Hypnotized.
Oh, Hypnotized.
Yeah. Stink Pink Gators. My Detroit play.
Dog.
There was no more pink. There was no pink Gators in the city. I know I tried to get them there. I had to get the purple ones. There was no pink Gators in the city.
Niggas and players. Hey, y'all sell Gators?
Niggas ain't nowhere to go.
I can't get my hands on those guys. I remember when he said to put the bitches in the Coogies, and it was just like the Coogie dress, just like just blew the fuck up. It just Big was nope. Him just forever. Like
he was a phenomenal rapper. He was a fucking unintentional marketer. He was an influencer, a writer, an influencer.
My homie made the joke.
A producer. Like
my homie made the argument. Was like, so you telling me Jay on God Did ain't on the level that Biggie used to rap? And I'm like, here's the thing: Jay on God Did is exactly like Biggie used to rap. I'm above y'all always and forever. That was the attitude. Here's the issue. Jay don't have a history of that type of shit. Jay's the best rapper all the time when he shows the fuck up for the most part. But the way he came off and God did was just like a, you niggas can't be serious.
It was a collective fuck you to
It was
everybody.
like, you can't be fucking serious. Biggie was rapping like that in his early 20s.
When he was in shit.
When Big was doing the you can't be serious shit, years,
He was disgusted by y'all when he barely had anything.
when he had nothing.
He had nothing.
Nothing.
Like Pusha gets his audacity from Big.
Yeah, that's the whole.
Yeah.
He gets his audacity and his disgust for y'all from Big. He's the source of that shit.
Yeah. Straight up, man.
KRS-One taught you niggas. Rakim was just rapping circles around motherfuckers. LL was kind of disgusted with y'all. And I'm gonna fuck your wife.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck your wife.
And because I'm disgusted with you, I'm gonna fuck your wife.
And I'm gonna do you on the same record. And I'm gonna talk shit about you on the same record.
And I'm gonna dirty Mac you.
Because I'm disgusted with you, I'm gonna fuck your wife.
What the fuck? I thought I conquered the world. Crush Mo D, Hammer, and
Yo.
And sees curl.
LL really was the dirty Mackinus nigga of all time, yo.
That was disrespectful.
Dog. That nigga pulled up on the bitch block with a bouquet of roses hanging out the sunroof. Crazy as shit. Oh, it was nuts, man.
What did he say? He said, I saw you at the. What else? I saw you at the bus stop. What was that?
Take on a lollipop.
Oh, yeah.
No, walking with your man.
What you call it? What the?
Hey, lover.
Hey, Lover.
Hey, lover. Yeah. Had Boys the Men on the hook. Hey. Funny as shit. But
He says, I saw you at the bus stop walking the other day. Your man must think it's safe for you to travel that way.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like,
What Clint said? He said, LL told Ice-T, I'm going to drink you down on the rocks. He said, all right, LL. Silly as shit.
hella wild boy, man.
Yo, I was listening. I told you I was watching that joint we did with Clint. Where he was like, we was talking about Magoo. He was like, I'm Chip, you Dale. I'm Chip, you Dale.
You had the worst shit that worked.
Yeah, the worst shit that worked. Straight
It
up.
was simple and dumb enough to work.
You on there talking about some, the worst Magoo bar ain't even a Magoo bar. It's when
It's the
Scott
Scott
Storch
Storch
was
shit.
like, I talked to Maganu. He said he mad at you.
He said, I just signed Maganu for 10 grand, and he told me that he's mad at you.
I just signed Maganu.
Scott Storch was hanging with dirty Puerto Ricans from North Philly and shit
Yo,
from the
man.
Badlands. I'm like, yo, this any beef.
Yeah, we went down that rabbit hole because of the Tony Yayo shit, but like Biggie to me, it's just you see the way you almost it energized you to just say Biggie verses out loud because them Jones was just that good,
Legendary, man.
And I don't have any other rapper in that category. There are Jay verses that make you feel real good. There are Nas verses that I can spit where real Nas fans feel it. I'll never forget. We was in my break room years ago, and one of the old heads, we was all like, Biggie the best storyteller, sort of like same conversation, who better than Biggie storytelling? And the one old head was like, yeah, man, I never understood the love and admiration for the Biggie Smalls. He had a couple good songs he come already, and I'm like, yeah, but we not talking about, when you talking about best rappers ever, you never talking about
We ain't talking
radio
about the
play.
radio song.
We talking about that shit that stick to your ribs. And I'm like, shit like I Got a Story to Tell is gonna live on forever.
Yeah.
And I just started rapping it, just like being smart.
Shit turned into a
while
concert.
while we were sitting at the card table, I'm rapping it. The next thing you know, Pimp was rapping it with me, then Roe, then Hig, then Big Larry. Next thing you know, it's like 20 of us we're rapping I Got a Story to Tell, and we're full on going through it to the point where when we got to the end was like, bitch took the Prada knapsack, hit the door, grabbed the keys to the 5, and called my nigga on the cell, and I threw my hands up, and the whole break room was like, I got a story to tell. Like, that shit get in you. It's infectious.
Yeah.
Like, you can't help but enjoy a Biggie Smalls verse all the fucking time, every verse. Like, you've never heard a big verse and been like, Big was on some nut.
Yeah.
Like, what was that?
It's like when we rank rappers, we be having to like segment motherfuckers like toward their strengths as far as like ability, song making, or a rapper versus MC. Big is one of the few. Jay is in there also that checks all the boxes. Like, and it's only a handful of motherfuckers that like check all the boxes.
Like, you can take Big most pop records, like Mo Money, Mo Problems and Hypnotize, where you talking about #1 smash Billboard Hot 100 records, and he's on there, like you just said, Stink Pink Gator. Like, he's on there rapping the most ridiculous street shit. Yeah. That nigga said BIGPOPPA, no info for the DEA. That's how he started a #1 song.
And then he immediately switched it. Federal agents mad because I'm flagrant. Tap my cell and the phone in the basement.
My team supreme, stay clean. Triple beam, lyrical dream. I be that. Catch a seat at all events bent. Gats in holsters, girls on shoulders. Playboy, I told you. Being nice to me, bruise too much, I lose too much. I step on stage, these girls boo too much. I guess it's because they run with lame dudes too much. Me lose my touch, nigga, never that. If I did, ain't no problem to get the gap.
Where the true players at?
Throw your throw your rollies in the sky thing. Just
wave them side to side and keep your hands high while I give your girl an eye.
Player please, lyric lead, nigga C, B.I.G.B. flossing, jig on the cover of Fortune, 500. Here's my phone number, your man
ain't got the know.
Got to go. I got the flow down, pizzat, platinum plus like this at, dangerous on Trizat. Your ass with that. Like it just did. That's
why I'm so fucking mad. I don't know what's up with Shaq album. But I can't stop.
Can't stop the rain.
Can't stop the rain. This one, no fucking.
Him and Zero just remade that joint.
Yeah. You gotta put that. You gotta listen to it.
Yeah, him and Zero just remade it. That shit doing.
You know what else
isn't
on Apple Music? I don't know why I figured this out the other day. Boosie Set It Off. The explicit version is not on Apple.
Only the. Well, Mel and Turk are doing 9,000 years in federal prison, so that probably has something to do with it.
Why though?
What? Why it's not on there?
Yeah.
Because they own the masters.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying the clean version is on there.
Well, I mean, that's all we can find. We lost when the feds came and raided. We lost the reels. We don't have that shit.
Somebody the other day in the gym was like, yeah, I don't understand the love that people have for the little Boosie guy. And I'm like, I mean, he's a down south legend.
It's an icon.
Yeah, and I'm like, shit, like, Set It Off, come on, you can't get these motherfuckers back in their chair. And he's like, I've never heard it. And I'm like, what? And they cut it on in the gym real loud. And he was just like, yeah, I never heard it. I'm just like, you want to talk shit? You want to run your mouth? You want some gangsters outside your motherfucking house? Set this bitch off.
He said, I told my mama I'm thugging. I don't need cable. Boosie rapping Set It Off for the fucking state troopers on the highway. What's the funny thing? They pulling me over again today, y'all. They pulling me over again.
No, the one
he said, nah, you can't search my car and ain't no drugs there.
No, the one white boy that was enjoying it.
Yo.
The one trooper in the back.
Yo. Straight up, man. But music is just one of them things where, you know, it bring you together.
It's a uniter.
It's a uniter. It can rip you apart. Y'all can start rumbling and shit. But for the most part, when you go down that rabbit hole of like the best Jones ever, I personally, this is Matt, my opinion, I kind of think it's a little disrespectful to mention anybody with Big. That's just how I feel. That's my personal belief. Because Biggie was so out of this world and so ahead of his young time that I know a lot of 23 and 24-year-olds. None of them talk like that. None of them act like that. None of them conduct themselves like that. And when you talk about great writers like the Ice Cubes, like the Jay-Z's, where Jay-Z can write a song for Dre, he can write a song for this chick, he can write a song for that person. Like, Biggie dead-ass wrote hardcore, man.
The whole, front to back.
Biggie dead-ass wrote Lil' Kim's classic hardcore album.
And he wrote the Conspiracy album front to back.
Do you know how fucking crazy that is? Like, Biggie dead-ass wrote, like, 2 classics for 2 different genders. Yeah. That's not normal. At 20? No.
Un just did an interview with Vlad or whatever. He said that fucking the Junior Mafia album, between the singles and the album, they did like 6 million. Like, that's insane. Like, it is because you had fucking Get Money, Players Anthem, fucking the Get Money remix, like all this different shit. It's like, yo, we did 6 million on fucking Junior Mafia. I'm like, yo, that's insane.
Straight up.
You come back and do like another 8 on Kim between albums and singles and all of that shit.
Straight up, man. But I got nothing else. So that was a good, hearty, that's gonna be fun to listen back to, man. Biggie, I just, man, like, I ain't gonna hold you. Like, that was like, I remember the morning waking up and finding out he got killed. I came downstairs, I'll never forget it. And my dad was like, yo, they got your boy last night. And I'm like, what? He was like, yeah, they killed your guy last night, man. I'm looking out the window. He was like, no, Biggie, the rapper. And I'm like, what? And you remember there was no social media. There was. I had to I'm like, oh, I got to go down to the mayor's office. I don't know what to do. And then that shit came on Kurt Loder, MTV News.
Yep.
Rapper Biggie Smalls killed in Cedars-Sinai Hospital. People don't even remember when Kanye had the Jones, like in the same hospital where Biggie Smalls died. Cedars-Sinai shit, yeah. Like, they really killed that boy, man. 24 rapping like that.
And
dog.
then when you find out that he wasn't even supposed to be in LA, he was supposed to leave and go to London and do this international presser
He was just
with like all this different media, and Puff convinced him to stay.
Yep.
And Un was like, I was supposed to come and I didn't. And he said if I was there, number one, that wouldn't have happened, because number two, he wouldn't have never went to that fucking party. He was like, they was just too loose out there, the way that they was fucking operating. And he was like, Biggie was supposed to go to London, and he called me and was like, yo, should I go to the Puff with me, go to this party tonight? Should I go? Blah, blah, blah. He was like, fuck no, don't go. He was like, all right, I'm going to just chill. I ain't going to go. I got this flight in the morning, whatever. And he was like, the next call I get is Biggie got shot. And I'm like, what the fuck? I just talked to him. He told me he wasn't going out.
$24.
Put a hit on that boy, man. That shit is crazy.
24 years old, man. And even when you look at, like, Pac got killed at 25. And I look at Pac was definitely way more advanced as far as the writer side of, like, poetry and literature and all of that type of shit. Pac wasn't even close rapping to Biggie.
Yeah.
But them two people, I was having a convo the other day. I'm like, to me, Biggie and Pac are like you don't even got to be into hip hop or rap, and you know the name Biggie and Tupac Shakur. Like, you know, they're just above everyone when it comes to, like, you know, at the end of the day, they lost their lives behind, like, rap shit. Granted, Pac was a little mixed with some other shit, but like them being rappers led to their demise.
Absolutely.
And for Pac to get to a point where you got 2 Diamond albums and 80 million records sold, Biggie has a Diamond album that we consider the best rap album of all time. It's just like, I oftentimes wonder, what if they would have, like, lived?
Yeah.
Like, I don't see either of them fizzling out, but I tell you what I do see. I see Pac going into the same space that, like, a Ice Cube, Killer Mike, David Banner, that type of shit, where he's doing. You seeing Ice Cube try to sit down with Dr. Claude Anderson for the Black Initiative of 500 billion.
That would have been Pac.
That would have been some Tupac shit.
Yeah.
And he'd have been acting, and Pac would have fucked around, been the lead on ER, a couple of Law and Order episodes. Like, that would have been him. And Biggie, to me, would have been like, I don't necessarily think he would have been the J, because J's the only J. But I think Biggie is in the space of, like,
he would have been a mogul for sure. They had the Brooklyn Mint clothing line that was about
definitely
to drop.
a mogul, but I think he wouldn't have been as, like, reserved as Jay-Z.
Right.
Like, Big would have fucked around, been like a judge at the dunk contest. Like, because Big's just like a fun. You see that? Did you watch the
Netflix?
Netflix?
Big would have been like a Ross.
Like a Ross, exactly.
Yeah,
like
Ross
shows at the crib, parties at the crib. Yeah.
Yeah. The fucking bitches today. Let's go. Like, well,
yeah, I renamed the mansion. It's called the Mint, Brooklyn Mint. Like, that would have been some Biggie shit.
Yeah.
And
Did
you see the Netflix got a real good documentary called I Got a Story to Tell? Did you watch that?
Yeah.
And you see
what's the name produced that? D-Rock.
D-Rock.
Yeah.
It's because D-Rock was on his Kanye homie John for Genius.
Yeah,
he got all of the footage. And you look at it and you see Biggie was so playful and silly as shit. Like, and you just like, how do you rap with this Don-ass attitude?
Yeah.
But then behind the scenes, you just
comedian.
like, all right, you see the role, all right. Like, he was a silly ass young boy.
Yeah.
And that's the thing you always get when you see his mom. Like, yo, I know he was like Biggie Smalls and the Notorious, and like, he was Christopher.
Yeah.
And like, you see him in the interview with his mom where like, she talking about him fucking up in school, and he got his head down. Like, he like ashamed. And I'm like, yo, Big really was a kid, man. Like, he really was a young nigga. So it's just like crazy to see it really go down like that. It was like that ability, that talent, that ability to like galvanize. They had the clip on I Got a Story to Tell with him and them, the whole Junior Mafia, like walking into the concert venue, and the people can see them, and they like lose it, and everybody's trying to go, and Big like, fuck y'all running for? What's up, y'all? Like, he just being a fun ass young boy, and it make you really look at the whole shit with him and Pac because you know Pac's whole thing was Big set him up. I personally don't.
But you do know there's a narrative now on the internet where all the Pac fans are trying to say, no, Pac never said that. And I'm like, set me up, let me up. niggas hit me up, heard the guns buzz, but you punks never shut me up. Like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Like, people are actively trying to like rewrite history now in regards to that situation.
I see you went down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, yo, the whole thing is this. Pac was young. He made a lot of fucking mistakes. He aligned himself with the wrong people time and time again. Aligning himself with fucking Haitian Jack and Jimmy Henchman. Big ass mistake.
Right.
Fucked himself up. Then you get into a beef with them niggas. Then you start implicating niggas in what happened when you know why what happened because you was running your mouth about certified street niggas. And they said, we're going to teach this nigga a lesson. And the whole point was to rob you, to embarrass you, and you tried to pull a gun, and then niggas start throwing that shit.
Right.
Like, so if I know this story and I wasn't there, how the fuck do you perpetuate for 2-3 years, however long it was, that you don't know how what happened when it's been told time and time again? It was very pronounced. It was basically stated like they told you that they were going to do this shit to you.
Straight up.
You knew it. Like, wasn't nobody guessing. So the whole thing of like trying to make it seem like, oh, well, Pac didn't know, and it's like, nah, you knew. He was playing with fire, and he was so smart that he was stupid. And he was so smart, he understood like this is going to ignite all of this controversy and all of this attention and all this shit in my favor. I'm in jail. I'm in jail. I got a #1 album. I got these charges on my back. I'm gonna align with Suge. I'm gonna do like he was so smart and so strategic. He knew exactly what that shit was.
Pac a lot of times reminds me of like Edward Norton's character from Rounders, where it's like you're so smart, you're like fucking up. Like you're because you don't have, and that's what Matt Damon kept telling that.
You ain't gotta do what you doing.
You're like fucking yourself up in the long run. Like you can run a straight game and whip these dudes' ass for weeks.
Exactly.
Why are you trying to melt them all tonight with your tactics? And then you see Worm got fucked up and fucked his whole play up. And that's kind of what it was with Pac. And even down to, there was a situation where like the whole Queensbridge niggas had Pac like dead to rights.
Yeah, in Central Park.
In New York. They had him. And Nas was like, Pac came to him and was like, nigga, I'm selling records, nigga. Lighten the fuck up. He just like, you called me a bitch on the record. You mean lighten up? You said you was gonna fucking kill me when you. Yeah. Pac was. Remember the other day when we were talking about like the greatest marketers in hip hop? Pac has to be on that list because he marketed himself as who he was all the time.
Yeah, like the greatest show in town. He's like a Floyd. Like
right.
And whatever character he was, because he was a master actor, he was an A+ actor, he would immerse himself in whatever character that was at the time. So where he was acting, because like when you talk to people close to him, you talk to his brother, you talk to his aunts and uncles and all of that shit, and they like, Pac wasn't really fucking with Suge like that. He was playing a role. So it's like the MOB, he was method acting. Mm-hmm. He got the MOB tag too. He's banging the hood. He throwing bees up and he hanging with Trayvon, with the Trayvon that got his death row chain took and all this crazy shit. And you like, wait, what? Like, what the fuck is going on here? And it worked. Like, that was the whole point. It fucking worked. That nigga dissed Dr. Dre on death row. Yeah. Oh, you want to leave? All right, cool. Yeah, cut this beat on. We're going to diss Dr. Dre. We're going to flip No Diggity and diss Dr. Dre. We're going to flip the first song he did off of Death Row and diss him on it. With Aaron Hall, Casey JoJo, and Danny Boyle.
Even though my biggest Death Row hit is with the man. But that don't matter.
Fuck him.
It don't matter right now. Yeah. Didn't Dre executively produce All Eyes on Me?
Yes.
Yeah,
fuck all that.
Yeah, fuck all that. Diamond album.
Cross Death Row now, who you gonna run to?
Straight up.
Loving them suckers cause you similar. Pretending to be hard, oh my God, check your temperature.
Yeah.
Screaming Compton, but you can't return. You ain't heard niggas pissed cause you switched and escaped to the boat.
Remember when Dave Chappelle did the Jones like, it was the nigga in the bathroom with the mop, and the nigga was cleaning out the back. Silly as shit. Yo. He's like, that girl dancing with the red got a dookie stain on her dress. She smell like doo-doo. The girl dancing with a big stain on her dress. He's like, yo, Pop be dropping music that's way too new. She smell like doo-doo. I got nothing else for this one, man. This has been a fun one. Like as always, patreon.com/official TRPE.
Yes, indeed.
TRPE.com. official TRPE.com. Get your tickets for the TRPE weekend. We got a live show August 26th. Party right after that at Reserve. We got a motherfucking brunch August 27th.
All sponsored by 14th and Market.
Oh, yeah. Shout out
14th and
14th Market.
The number one black ad agency, number one black marketing agency in the world, Craig.
All things TRPE forever. We out.